and keep your eyes shut. The lights flicker, there's evil all around us. No one's safe from the nightmare. Cold sweat, so scared. Someone get me out of here. They say you better be afraid. The night's coming like fire from a hand grenade. There's no escaping tonight. It's coming alive.
It's Tuesday Night Live on the SLG Network, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm Rich Mancuso. That's the whiz, Robert Rizzo. You know what this is, Sports with Rich. Of course, on YouTube platforms and all social media, we want you to participate, as always, on the program. Leave your questions and comments in the queue. We're going to have a fast-paced, good 2 hours of information. Baseball, NBA, and Dale Scott, a former Major League Baseball umpire, will join us later on, plus a pro fighter making a debut on the Bella boxing card in the second hour of the show tonight. So much on grab. We want to thank you for your continued support here at Sports with Rich, with me and the Riz, Robert Rizzo. Like, comment, and subscribe at the SLG Network, Sports with Rich, as well as my YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso. Always leave your comments. I will get back to you. And our social media platforms will give you those in a moment also, and throughout the course of the evening. All right, Wiz, before I ask you how your week went and everything else, it's time for my opening vent of the week. Are you ready for it? I think baseball fans in general are going to listen carefully to this one, especially if you're in markets like New York, L.A., big baseball towns, Chicago, even up in Boston, everywhere else. That's this ridiculous MLB sellout deal to the streaming services. I'm tired of it. Apple TV, Amazon Plus. Not that I have anything against Amazon. I order from them every so often. I give them a lot of business. Peacock Network, which I subscribe to because of WWE. However, if you are paying a cable subscription service to watch your favorite Major League Baseball teams in your region, in your town, and one of those cities I just mentioned, or all the others around Major League Baseball, you are getting ripped off. And we saw that again this past weekend, let alone, I don't like to knock other broadcast talent, but Major League Baseball ought to be criticized and what can I say? Boo of the week, give it whatever you want. The broadcast stink. They're horrible, and I cannot watch it. So what do? Like many of you others are doing, probably go into your local regional radio, audio, MLB app of the team's broadcast is where you get a better perspective of their team, and the broadcast, they paint the picture better. But more importantly, my friends, and you might agree with me with this, you are paying tremendous amount of money towards your annual cable bill, monthly cable bills. And on those services, might add, you know that you have a service for your regional networks to watch your favorite local baseball team. In the New York market where Rob Wiz and I exist, it's the Mets and Yankees. The Yankees on the S Network, the Mets on SMY. And as a result of these ridiculous streaming services deals that Major League Baseball is getting a lucrative amount of money from them, as a result of that, you, the fan, are being shut out. Not only from watching your team unless you subscribe to one of those services. In addition, you're getting shut out of your pocket because you're paying to watch those games either on your regional cable network where the teams make a tremendous amount of money from. And again, it stinks. I hope they change this, but I don't think they're going to. What I do believe is going to happen is you're going to see more and more of this in the next year and the years to come. Because sports, as I predicted a few years ago, has gone to the streaming broadcast route. And that's what we're seeing now with Apple, Amazon Plus, and Peacock, and there'll probably be many more to come. And the only way to avoid it, my friends, cancel your cable service. The only thing you can do. Demand a refund. That's the only thing you can do. Or you're shut out. Or just tell MLB. protest. You want to see your teams. You don't want to be shut out because you have to subscribe to one of their streaming services. Right, Riz? Let me bring in the Riz, Robert Wizzo, my young protege, the Twitter monkey, whatever I call him, on me we hear every weekend. Do you agree with me, Riz? Isn't this horrible?
Yeah, it's horrible overall. But first off, I just want to say I'm excited to be back. Sports with Rich. There was so much baseball this weekend, boxing, UFC, everything. So we're going to get to it. But back to Peacock, Apple, Amazon, it's terrible for the sport. I keep saying it because overall the broadcast is terrible. Camera angles are good. I'll give it to them on that. But there was an inning the other day where it was sounds of the game, not a broadcast. You just heard the bat hit the ball. And for that, that's just so boring. It's like you're staring at a bird on a tree.
Too many statistics, too many launch angles, this and that. Who cares about all that? I want to see a game. I want to see it without all that interference and all those numbers and stats. And I want broadcasters to know the game and know the teams. Most of all, I want to watch them on my cable system. I don't want to subscribe to another service. All right, Riz, how was your week? Good?
Oh, it was awesome. So much baseball.
Yeah. Well, I got some things to talk to you about. A lot.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, including our tour, our trip today. We're coming remote to you all as we do every week, but Riz and I are on a mission this week. We're down in Atlantic City, New Jersey, catching up with some old time fighters and catching up on a lot of things. And I'm staying away from the slot machines and the tables. I'm here for business and doing the show with the Wiz in remote locations here down in the Jersey Shore. Hope you all had a good July 4th, safe one as also, and prayers again to the victims. I have to get this in. I don't want to make this political show, this sports show. Highland, Illinois, outside Chicago area, another tragic shooting, mass shooting in this great country, the United States, and I only can say, when is this going to end? My prayers and condolences to all the victims. All right, baseball, let's get to the talk. That's what we're here for. And the Mets and Jacob deGrom, they're awaiting his return. And Jacob deGrom, in his first rehab outing Sunday up in Binghamton, said, oh, no, he was down in St. Lucie, Florida, SA ball for the Mets, said he wanted to continue. Had good velocity on his fastball. The Mets playing a cautious approach to him, and I agree with that. deGrom, I think, what were his stats in that game again, Riz?
He had 25 pitches overall, 5 strikeouts, 1.2 innings pitched, 1 hit by pitch, I believe.
And his velocity was good. That's the impressive part of it all. deGrom's velocity on his fastball was good. True, it's not major league hitters he was opposing, single A ball, but good first rehab. They're going to give him a few more, maybe by the end of this month, you'll see Jacob deGrom back on the Major League Baseball pitching mound at Citi Field in New York. Big boost for the Mets. They need deGrom, and they need this guy, Max Scherzer, who came back tonight. First start in over 6 weeks. Apparently the oblique is okay. You know, the Mets without Scherzer, when he won a DL injured list, the Mets were 25-14. Since then, they had their 50th win, 50-30 coming into tonight's game. Scherzer returns, 47 days out. Mets at the Reds tonight, and good outing, 6 innings for Scherzer. Or was it 6.1 innings, 7 innings pitch? What was it, Rob? Was 6 innings?
I believe 6 innings. He ended with that.
But 11 strikeouts. Yep, and fastball going at 93, and he wanted to stay in the game. And it's showing right here, deGrom and Scherzer are so much needed for the Mets, and they're going to still be active at the trade deadline come August 2nd. But the Mets 1-2 dangerous punch soon will be back together for the first time this season. A good sign from Scherzer tonight.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Good sign from Scherzer overall. The Mets are 50-30, 3.5 game lead. And they're not struggling the last 2 weeks. It's just the Braves have been super hot. I think they're 23-7 their last 30 games. And the Mets offense has been struggling overall the last week or so, but it was against the Astros. So if you're facing up against the AL pennant winners from last year, it's bound to happen, some of those games for sure. And Yordan Alvarez, we'll talk about him later, but that's an MVP candidate right there, other than
Yes, Judge. It is. We will talk about Alvarez, but, you know, the stigma for the Mets right now, You get Scherzer and DeGrom back. Tyler McGill is on the 60-day injured list. They have to get some more depth in the rotation. We are aware of that. They have to fix the bullpen. They can't solely rely on the closer, Edwin Diaz. Jason Shreve, right now, he was DFA today. Drew Smith, I can't trust Drew Smith when he comes on the mound for the Mets. He gives up a home run ball every time he's out there. So the Mets obviously have to go shopping for an arm out of the bullpen. They have to fortify that pen. Still holding first place in the National League East, but, the Braves have crept up, Riz.
No, the Braves crept up, and the Mets stayed okay in June. I think it was 13-12 overall in the month of June, but they just got to keep going week by week, pile up the wins. They won another series against Texas. Overall in the season, in the series, they're 18-5-2. So if you're winning series week by week, you're bound to get a postseason spot, no matter division winner, wild card, no matter what you're in. And that's at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Their offense is holding their own. They're not scoring as many runs as they did. They had a bad June with that because the Mets came out the first 2.5 months of this season as we reached the halfway point officially tonight. They were scoring a lot of runs, but they haven't been doing it in the last month. In the last few weeks, it has shown. And a reason is they're not hitting home runs, too. This is not a home run hitting team. In fact, the Mets came in tonight's game 20th in baseball in the home run ball. Now, you want to hit some home runs, and that has to improve a bit to get some more production. 2-out hits that they were RBI hits that they were so good at, too. They haven't been doing that much. And tonight they really haven't scored any runs against a bad team, the Reds over there in Cincinnati, which is a hitter's home run ballpark. So they're hitting a little slide with that, including this guy, Francisco Lindor, though. Lindor's hitting some home runs. And that's what you want from that part of the batting order from Lindor. Driving in runs as well. He's still among the leaders and shortstops in baseball with RBI, but they need to score more runs as well. So there are needs for this team. They're going to need another bat in the lineup by that deadline.
Yeah, they just got to continue to put the ball in play and not strike out. If you're dependent on the long ball, we're going to see a lot of strikeouts. In the first 2 months of the season, they were putting the ball in play, ground balls, singles, pop-ups, and it will drop. If you put the ball in play, it forces your opponent into habits and mistakes. We see it all the time. And when going back to Lindor, his last 5 games, he's batting 200, only 3 hits, but 4 walks. And as you said, the RBI leaders for National League shortstops, it's Trey Turner now, Lindor at second, and I believe it's only like a 2 RBI difference. So they'll be back and forth.
And the Mets again, still, well, I think right now, 50 wins. The Dodgers, as I think, surpassed them with the best record in the league, but who cares about that? They have to watch the Atlanta Braves. I want to talk more about that in a moment because the Braves are making their run. You just said it, Wiz. They're winning games. The Mets losing, they pick up another game. The Braves, I believe, are winning tonight again big, and the Mets are still in the scoreless. We'll get more updates later from John behind the scenes. The Mets are not scoring any runs. Not tonight. Scoreless tie with the lowly Cincinnati Reds. That, to me, if you're a Met fan, is an issue as well as the bullpen right now. They're not scoring runs. And you're going to go through that during the course of a long baseball season, as the Mets are seeing that right now. They hit, to me, right now, a rough patch. They've yet to have that extended winning streak where they could further the distance between them and the Braves. And the Phillies are not that far behind as well, Wiz.
Phillies are putting the ball in play. They're getting things going on all assets. Other than Bryce Harper getting hurt, Kyle Schwarber's carrying the load. I believe he has 6 homers in his last 7 or 8 games. So every game he's doing something. So it's
without Harper in the lineup, who had his thumb surgery and said he expects to be back by September. They don't think so, but he's gaming for it. The Phillies, to me, is still a threat in that division, even though it's a 7-game deficit between them and the Mets right now. Crosstown in New York, and we'll get to everything. We're not just going to talk New York here, baseball, as you know. Anthony Rizzo scratched from the Yankee lineup tonight. Back spasms. Is that a concern, Wiz?
Overall, I don't think it's a concern. He needed a day off. I know they had the day off yesterday, but it's a long season, and you don't want your main guy other than Judge out for the long haul. So It's good to give them a rest day when it's needed. I believe they're 37 games over 500, something like
Yeah,
that. So,
they unbelievable. The Yankees had a day off yesterday on July 4th. When the
oh,
old man George Steinbrenner was around, that would have never happened on his birthday. And that reason is MLB, 20 games in a row for the Yankees. They needed a day off. Why didn't they just make it 21 straight games on July 4th? They didn't play yesterday. It was ridiculous.
they're the number one team in baseball, and when it comes down to franchises in sports, you think of the Yankees, the Cowboys, and the Lakers. And for them to not be playing on Memorial Day weekend, now 4th of July weekend, that's terrible for MLB. They got to figure that out.
Horrible. Well, next year, I don't think that's happening because baseball has this format for next year on the new collective bargaining agreement. Every team's going to play every team the next season. How they're going to do that on the schedule, I don't know. That remains to be seen. The schedule this year has been a total disaster because teams flying out to the West Coast 3 different times from the East. MLB's got to get that right. But the Yankees not hitting home runs means they don't score runs, including this guy, Aaron Judge. Even though he's having this MVP type of season, in this last few games, he hasn't had the home run trot going, the bat and the trot.
Yeah, it's a lot of strikeouts recently. He's just got, like I said before, keep putting the ball in play and things will happen. You don't have to depend on the long ball. We've seen it with Judge. Obviously, he has 29 homers, but the guy has 3 or 4 walk-off hits in his career, 2 this season already. So he's clutch overall. It comes down to day by day, getting hot, staying hot, and we'll see it throughout the season. Judge is going to be a top 3 MVP candidate.
And deservingly of a contract the Yankees should give him. How much, that remains to be seen. And again, as I said last week, the Yankees are not going to let him walk away. He's the face of their franchise. Anybody talking about Aaron Judge going somewhere else, you may be reading or hearing about it. That ain't happening.
No.
Give him the money.
Yeah, give him the money.
He deserves it.
Check.
Every time you're at Yankee Stadium, what they chant is MVP for Aaron Judge. They expect to see the home run, and Judge delivers. So does Rizzo. So does that whole team. They don't lose at home. They're struggling tonight against the Pittsburgh Pirates out in Pittsburgh. All of a sudden, the Yankees seem to be going through a little rough patch with their offense. Not with their pitching, though, except for tonight. Jamison Townsend didn't have it. But this guy, Garrett Cole, back to a Cy Young Award type pitching, isn't he?
Yeah, for sure. Opponent's batting average for Garrett Cole is 198. That's 3rd best in the American League. He has 117 strikeouts on the season. That's 3rd in American League. And overall, he's 7-2 record-wise. So he's carrying the load for the Yankees overall. Cortez has struggled the last 2 or 3 outings, and he fell back to earth in June because he had a 1.7 ERA.
Yeah, you know, Wiz, what's concerning about Cortez right now and Cole and the rest of this Yankee starting rotation, which has been superb with an ERA a little under 2.50 this the first half of the season, they're giving up a lot of home run balls. The team hits a lot of home runs, but their pitching staff is giving up just as many, including Cole. There's Garrett Cole giving up 2 home runs a game. Cortez now 2 home runs a game. That'll come hurt you in October when they get there.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to haunt them in October if it stays this trend. And we've seen it with Cole a lot this season.
Yeah.
He gives up a lot of solo homers. And
they're hitting his 4 seamers, something they hadn't been able to do. But they're starting to do that in baseball. Speaking of batting averages, 5 teams with batting averages in baseball below 230. Unheard of. The Orioles and Diamondbacks batting a 215 team batting average in Major League Baseball. These are Major League Baseball hitters batting 215 as a team. The Tigers and the A's, as both teams, are batting 212 as a team. Go figure.
That's terrible. We see it on the scoreboard all the time at Citi Field. When these opposing teams come in, you look at the lineup card, it's like 5 guys are under 210.
Unbelievable.
Oh.
I don't know where this game is going. But Major leaguers are hitting average 230 or below. These are premier hitters in baseball. You can't explain it. 2 weeks from tonight, is Major League Baseball All Star Game. Believe it or not, we're getting to that point in Los Angeles, and we might be doing a remote broadcast. Not in LA at the All Star Game, but somewhere else. Say more about that next week here on the SLG Network Sports with Rich. But we will Latino Sports. We have a bunch of people going to be out there covering the game. We're going to get live reports from them from the All Star game. Right now, let's take a look at how some of this first phase of the balloting is till Thursday when the second phase comes up. Mookie Betts back in the Dodgers lineup, back from an injury, still leading all vote getters in the National League with the Dodgers. So Betts will get a starting nod. And who's next to him? Ronald Acuna Jr. What about Acuna's is back? What a swing he has. What a bat. What power. So Acuna will probably get a starting nod in the outfield, as may this guy, Rafael Devers. What do you like about Devers and the Red Sox?
I love Devers' swing overall. He puts the ball in play on all sides of the field. Overall this season, he has 104 hits. That's the most in Major League Baseball. Yeah. And he has the second most doubles with 27. On the season, he has a 382 on base percentage. So every 4 at bats, this guy's on base. He's definitely an all-star, sure. And
he's helped the Red Sox in the month of June. They had a good month, but the Yankees had the good month. The Red Sox couldn't gain any ground, but when you look at it, the Red Sox next to the Yankees had the best record in the American League in the month of June.
Yeah, they keep going back and forth, and I'm excited to see what it's like in July, August when those teams meet up. Because now it's a 13-game lead, but any series it changes just like that.
It doesn't matter. Yankees are not losing the division. Not like the Mets practically look like they're giving it up. And that guy Devers is part of the reason. He's been hitting the ball, and the Red Sox have been getting some pitching, and out of the bullpen, still a little shaky, but doing a job that got them a good month of June. And this guy, Nolan Arenado, hit for the cycle this week. And that was, I believe, the 8th cycle in Major League Baseball this season, which is one of the most difficult things to do in the game. That's an MVP, maybe him and Pete Alonso battling out to the end of the year. And he's headed to the All Star game, and we'll give that update again next week. What do you like about Arenado?
The thing I love about Arenado and the Cardinals is they build from the corners. You have an MVP candidate at first base in Paul Goldschmidt and an MVP candidate at third base in Nolan Arenado. Every other play, these guys are making diving plays, putting the ball in play. Both guys are batting over 320 on the season. So they do it on both sides of the field, and that's what I love the most. It's not like they depend on the long ball and can't field, or they can only field and not hit. They do it all. They're 5-tool players, and I bet both of them have stolen bases on the season for sure. So they do it all, 5-tool players.
As well as this rookie for the Mariners, Julio Rodriguez, named American League Player of the Month, right? For the month of June.
Yep.
And Rookie of the Year on his way. The only player in Major League Baseball history, first in home runs, first in doubles, 20-plus stolen bases in 81 games. It's the first time for a rookie at this juncture of the season with the Seattle Mariners. Headed to Rookie of the Year in the American League, and the All-Star game. I'm sure he's going to be voted in by the players and whoever else, makes up the team. So good month for him.
He lives by the nickname, the J-Rod Show.
Oh, you got it. I mean, yep. Fascinating young player, superstar in the game, just like Ronald Acuna Jr. Many that you're going to see in the All-Star game. We'll break more of that down next week because I think next week at this time we'll know who's starting and who the reserves are going to be in another week. Right, the power rankings I got this week, Yankees, no doubt, they keep winning despite going through a little tailspin with their bats. The Astros, who gave the Yankees a good series we saw a week ago, and in Houston this week, a game that was made up because the season was delayed. What do you like about the Yankees Astros power rankings 1-2? Do you agree with me?
Yeah, for now I agree with it. We saw it firsthand at Yankee Stadium with the Astros. Their bullpen struggled, and that was a big question mark throughout that series. And the Yankee bats weren't producing for the majority of the series, but obviously they split the series 2-2, I believe. And this is a crash course ready for October. It needs to happen.
As I wrote in NewYorkSportsDay.com and LatinoSports.com, two of the websites I write for, a prelude to October. I mean, that's definitely what I think you're going to see, Astros, Yankees. And then I got the Braves, Dodgers, and Mets. The Mets have dropped down in my power rankings. The Braves third, the Dodgers fourth. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think that's a fine list for now. Anything could change week by week. Dodgers are facing a lot of injuries right now. Chris Taylor just actually fractured his foot today, so he's going to be out for a long haul of the season. Atlanta's missing Ozzie Albies, and the Mets have their injury concerns, as we said before. So every team's going to struggle and go on winning streaks. That's how the 162 game season works, you know?
Right. But the Mets are going to get slowly but surely back to health. Again, DeGrom, Scherzer. That's what fans have been waiting for. And Trevor May's coming back maybe to help this bullpen. We'll see what he's got left. Travis Jankowski off the bench coming off his injury. He'll be back, but they're going to be busy at the deadline. We'll be talking trade deadline stuff too more and more in the next couple of weeks. Did you know that 75 years ago today, this is not my fact of the week, but this is a fact today. You're going to get the fact of the week. You know that's coming up in a moment. Larry Doby got the phone call, and a good one. He broke the Major League color barrier in the American League. Of course, we know what Jackie Robinson did in that history. Larry Doby did it 75 years ago today, got the phone call in the American League, and those who are around will never forget that. So baseball looks at that memorable moment today. All right. So more baseball to come in the next segment. Dale Scott, former Major League Baseball umpire, will be coming up. But first, don't forget, Sports with Rich here on the SLG Network, live every Tuesday, 10 p.m. Eastern. We want to hear from you, your comments and your questions in the queue. Me and the Wiz, Robert Rizzo, will get back to you. But now, before I go to the first update with John for Sports of the Night, and before we go to a brief break, you know what time it is. What is it, Wiz?
Time for Fact of the Week.
Fact of the Week. And, Wimbledon's taking stage right now, part of the big tennis Grand Slam events, and Wimbledon taking place in London on the grass courts. And, I had to come up with a Fact of the Week. I watched a little bit yesterday on July 4th, which is a tradition here in the States. But here is a fact that I want you and everyone to try and get. Of course, the Aaron Judge bobblehead is still up for grabs if you get it. Try not to look it up. And if you do, I'll get it. Good for you. Then you beat me to it. The longest tennis match on record happened at Wimbledon in 2010. Okay? It was John Isner. He won against Nicholas Mahut. And I want to know, 2010, the longest tennis match on record in Wimbledon. Give me the length of that tennis match in 2010 at Wimbledon.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Oh, yeah, that is a tough one. I'll see if you can get it or anyone else. If you do, I'll give you the answer later. If you don't, Aaron Judge bobblehead will finally be yours. I've been trying to give it away the last 3 weeks. We still got it here. That's the Fact of the Week this week, and we will give you the answer later if you don't get it. I'm Rich Mancuso. That's the Wiz Robert Rizzo. Sport with Rich on all your social media platforms. Like, comment, and subscribe here on YouTube, on the SLG Network, and on my channel, Rich Mancuso. So let me bring in John for the first Fact of the Week. For the first brief sports update, take a brief break, and Dale Scott, former Major League Baseball umpire, will be joining us on the other side. So, John, it's all yours. Update time. Back after this, everyone. More Sports with Rich.
Thanks, guys. I greatly appreciate it. Oh, great job, like always. And we got a lot going on right now in the baseball world. The Mets are playing the Reds right now in Cincinnati, and neither team has scored yet. We are in the bottom of the ninth inning right now. The score is 0-0.
Like it?
Over in the Yankees, unfortunately, the Yankees did lose today to the Pittsburgh Pirates by the score of 5-2. That was kind of a shocker because it seemed like every week that I'm on here, it seems like the Yankees are always winning. Going on right now in Baltimore, the Texas Rangers are battling out right now with the Baltimore Orioles by the score of 9-9. They're in the bottom of the ninth inning right now. The Boston Red Sox are losing right now to the Tampa Bay Rays by the score 8-4. They're in the top of the ninth. And those Atlanta Braves, that team that never wants to lose, is winning right now over the St. Louis Cardinals by the score of 7-1. The only game that's really getting going right now that just started is the Dodgers and the Rockies right now are 0-0. Everything else went final today. The Mariners won, the Marlins won, the Phillies won, the Pirates won, and the Tigers won. We're going to throw it over to a quick break, and Dale Scott will join the guys right after this. You're listening to Sports with Rich right here on the SLG Network. We'll be right back right after this.
Spending money like it's nothing. I don't have a budget. Please don't get offended when you see the kids stunting. Got my queens with me, but it ain't no Scarborough bluffing. See, I'm riding solo while dependent bitches cuffing. I got all I need, me, myself, and I just love it. I've been gone. Back into the ceiling, I'm Dick Long. Can never change the side I've been on. In 100 years, I'ma still be with my day ones. When it's said and done, fuck where I'm going, it's all about where I came from. You don't know.
G Network with the Wiz, Robert Rizzo by my side. And join us here every week, 10 p.m. Eastern on the SLG Network. YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. Leave your comments and, of course, your questions in the cube. Now, I think I jumped the gun. And, John, thanks for the update. John working behind the scenes, my great producer for me and the Wiz here every Tuesday. We're looking at Dale Scott. Is he on with us right now, or do we do Keep It in the Ring? Let's get Dale Scott first. Then we'll do Keep It in the Ring after, because I'm so proud to have this gentleman on the program with us. Before we do Keep It in the Ring, this is Dale Scott, everyone, former Major League Baseball umpire, who has a book that's come out. It's out right now. The Umpire is out. Calling the Game and Living My True Self, and we'll show an image of the book now. Dale Scott, welcome to the program. We met briefly a few weeks ago at Citi Field. I've read this great book. I got to congratulate you. You've been a pioneer for the let's tell you a little bit about Dale Scott. He is openly gay. He came out, and he's been a pioneer for LGBT community. He's also been a spokesperson, within baseball and other sports. His insights in the game, of course, fantastic. Having been a Major League Baseball umpire 40 years, 33 in Major League Baseball, 40 years overall. I watched him umpire behind the plate many, many times in my career. At Shea Stadium, at Yankee Stadium, all around Major League Baseball over the years. He's worked 1,000 games behind home plate, and my back bothers me. I don't know how yours doesn't to do something like that. Umpires always get criticized. They are always a subject of controversy. Now we're replaying everything. But this book, The Umpire is Out, we're going to get into this because this is a great book, and I want everyone to read it. Let me tell you, it's Bob Nair wrote it with him, forwarded by Billy Bean from the Oakland Athletics, University of Nebraska Press. It's out there now online. You can get it, and also in your bookstores. Dale, thank you for hanging in there with us, and welcome to the program, my friend.
Absolutely.
Congratulations. This is a great book. We're going to get into it and talk about it. First question I got to ask you is, what made you write a book like this? What made you come out, first of all, and end up telling your story?
Well, first of all, I just want to correct one thing. The Billy Bean is not the Oakland Billy Bean. It's Billy Bean, the ex-player, who's
right. Yes. My bad. I make a lot of mistakes. I still do.
Well, we went to replay, and we got
to. How well you put that, Dale.
That was perfect.
And I'm towards my retirement years now too, so I'm going to make a mistake or two.
Not a problem.
But anyway, your insights in this book from players and colleagues and whatever, and just a tremendous read, and we're going to go into it. So let's get back to what got you to write a book like this, and how long did it take you to do it?
Well, I wasn't going to write a book. I had no intention to write a book when I retired, although before I retired and after I retired, everybody was telling me, you got to write a book. But it has been done before. Retired umpires have written books. They're entertaining. There's a lot of fun stories. Some of it's true. So I just didn't really want to go down that path. But Rob Nair, who helped me with the book, he said, you should write a book. And I told him, that I wasn't planning on it. He said, well, you should, because you have the baseball stories. I mean, when you have, 37 years in professional baseball, you're going to have the stories, but you have a story that nobody else has. And it's one that really needs to be out there. And of course, he's talking about me coming out in 2014 publicly, the first male official in the Big Five sports, active male official in the Big Five sports to come out. And the reaction I had and the response I had when that happened in 2014, the messages I got from all around the world were extremely positive and very humbling, really. I mean, people saying that because of your story, you gave me the courage to tell my coworkers, or you gave me the courage to tell other umpires, or referees in their association. Some people said, I'm not quite there yet, but I'm a step closer to that closet door because of your story. I had to, it wasn't just all gay people that got a hold of me. I mean, I remember a father in Toronto messaged me and said, I'm hoping that my two girls who are 8 and 10 years old will grow up. I hope this is another step to where they'll grow up into a society where this won't even be a story someday, and congratulations for putting it out there. So the response I had in 2014 and the how it moved so many people, and those are just the people that contacted me. It's like Billy Bean told me, he said, Dale, that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of people out there you'll never hear from, but your story has helped them in some way. So, thinking of that, I thought, you know what, maybe I do need to get this story out there. Maybe I do, and it's a decision I'm so glad I made, because on this tour that I just finished, when I saw you guys in New York at the Mets, but I went to 7 MLB Pride nights in June, 8 altogether, one in May in San Diego. I had book signings and met so many people. And in San Francisco, I had a lesbian couple come up, and she was literally crying, saying how my story touched her and moved her so much and gave her so much courage to go on in her life. That she was very depressed and desperate. And it's just amazing, guys, how my story has affected people. I mean, I'm so touched and I'm so humbled by that. But that, just on this book tour and talking to so many people proved to me that this was the right thing to do. It was to write this book. And you read it. I think you could, I don't want to speak for you, but I mean, it's got the baseball stuff that's funny. It's entertaining. It's behind the curtain a little bit, but it also has the human touch, and how I went full circle from actively trying to make sure baseball had no clue about my sexuality to actually full circle to coming out in 2014.
Dale,
Go ahead.
Dale, how difficult though was that for you to keep your life in such a private way when you're in a male-dominated sport such as baseball, among your colleagues on the field, the umpires, and the players? Let's face it, Major League Baseball players, there might be many of them out there. I've been told that, and I'm not going to mention names, that there are a few that are afraid to come out. So
Sure.
how difficult was that for you to keep it quiet for so many years?
Well, in a way, baseball, the mechanics of baseball and how it works, it actually, in a lot of ways, worked in my favor. And I'll tell you why. I live in Portland, Oregon. I didn't work in a city that I live in. So, I had 2 separate lives. My life at home in Portland, where I was out, and I had Michael, who's now my husband, my partner. His family knew, my family knew. We had a lot of friends and that kind of stuff. And then you have to realize too, after a while in baseball, it started around 2000. It became known between all the umpires that I work with and Major League Baseball, the people I work for. It still wasn't known by teams, by the media, by fans, but baseball is such a thing. It's not a job where you have a yearly Christmas party and all the spouses come, or something, or you have a yearly summer picnic for all the employees, and where I would have to, either not go or maybe come up with some beard or something, right? So I didn't have those situations. And then it was easy for me when I was home to the people I wasn't out yet to, and this, like my cousin who cut my hair. She goes, "Oh, I got some girlfriends. I think you should meet. She's really fun." Blah blah blah. Oh, sure. When I'll be leaving in a month. I'll be gone for 6 months. It's hard to get into any type of a relationship. So I had a built-in kind of excuse to which was a viable one. That I could just kind of use, but. And baseball is such that, the players, we see the players, but we see them just a few games a year or whatever. You don't really get real personal, as far as your personal life. So it really kind of worked in my favor a little bit. But the thing that didn't work in my favor is the fact that, let's face it, athletics, especially male athletics, is one of the last bastions of guys coming out. I mean, you were mentioning, gay players. Of course, there's gay players. There always has been. I mean, who I don't know, and I'm sure on most teams, most teams they either know or frankly, if the guy can hit and field and pitch, they don't really care. I don't think for the most
Right.
part, although that's now, I mean, things have changed a lot in the last 15, 20 years or so. So there's a lot of factors helping for me to, keep the double life going for several years.
First off,
Talking to Dale Scott, author of The Umpire is Out, Calling the Game, Living My True Self. Terrific books. Former Major League Baseball umpire, 33 years of that in the major leagues, 40 years overall. Wiz, go ahead, take over.
Yeah, first off, I just want to thank you for coming on. It is a huge honor to be interviewing you. I read the book. It was an awesome read. Everyone reading and watching right now, please tune into that. My question to you is, what's it like for you to be recognized by former MLB players like David Cone, Harold Reynolds, Bob Costas? It's not just players, it's broadcasters. Your name's everywhere with this book.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I mean, I had David Cone he was the starting pitcher for my very first World Series plate game in 1998 with the Yankees when we were in San Diego. Harold Reynolds played for the Mariners when I came up. He's an Oregon boy. Him and I are Oregon Duck fans, so we had that that in common. Bob Costas is an icon, obviously, and I actually met him on my second game ever. It was the NBC game of the week in Detroit. I was working with Dave Phillips, was my crew chief. Davey's from St. Louis, so is Bob. They've known each other for years, and so Bob came in after the game, and I met him there, and we talked for several minutes. So I've known him a long time. The thing is all these people when I was working. Until I came out, I'm talking about the players and the broadcasters or whatever. They just didn't know. They just knew Dale Scott, the umpire. Frankly, David Cone. I had him earlier in my career, obviously when he was playing. It's so businesses. Everybody's doing their own business. Everybody's professional on the field. They're trying to get hits and outs and all that stuff. I'm trying to get pitches and plays right. And so you're so focused on your job. It's just not really a thing. Like I said, there are gay players. I'm sure there are gay players right now that are on rosters right now. But baseball, ironically, hasn't had a player come out yet at the big league level. I mean, they've had that happen in soccer and football and basketball. And I believe in hockey, but not yet in baseball. So it'll come. I'm kind of surprised it hasn't yet, but it'll happen.
Is that going to be a concern or more of a sign of the times right now? Because I think that is the whatever I would say the fans, or the game itself. But you just mentioned other sports where some athletes have come out in the other sports. And how do you think, would there be any repercussions? Would there be any name calling? Will there be any type of ramifications for something like that? Or is it something that we should all be looking up to and say, wow, proud moment, great thing to do, I commend you?
Well, anytime, I mean, would there be any repercussions? I mean, I'm sure there are, how should I say this? Unknowledgeable fans or something that might say something to a player. I mean, anytime a barrier is crossed, I mean, Jackie Robinson got heckled a lot.
Right.
I'm not comparing that, but I'm just saying that there's always going to be people that are going to be, stupid about it, but in my opinion, but when you think about team wise though, I mean, look at football. Carl Nesbitt, I think it's the last name is pronounced that, with the Raiders. I mean, he came out and the world did come in, football of all sports, and he's a what, a D lineman. I mean, we're talking right in the trenches.
Yeah.
And the world didn't come apart. I really think now again, times have changed. I mean, 20 years ago, I
yes, it has
said that, right? I mean, 20 years ago, states were voting on constitutional amendments to ban marriage equality. 10 years later, it's the law of the land. So a lot of things have changed in that time. But I think the players now, more than anything else, are just focused on winning. And if a player happens to be gay, but he can hit or he can pitch, and he can add to and help the team, that's what they're concerned about, gay or straight. I mean, that's you know, that's what it's all about. And you know, guys are professional. They've got their own lives, but they're all, you know, in on one team. You know, I just think it's time.
Well, you know what, Dale, it's been accepted. And, you know, I worked in the pro wrestling industry for a while. Everyone knows that. And in the pro wrestling business, there are openly gay pro wrestlers, and they've been accepted. They've been accepted among their colleagues and guys they work with in the ring, and from the fans. It's been well accepted there. So, you know, I don't think there'll be time. You just mentioned it. Times have changed.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure it'll be accepted. And a guy like you, like I said, there's an individual like you who writes a book like this, who speaks about it. You could only be more of a role model to so many others in sports and generally in life overall among the general population. Let's shift gears and talk baseball now.
You got it.
Your career as a Major League Baseball umpire, because umpires are always the subject of controversy.
Right.
Yet you have had a distinguished career. Now, Riz reminded me earlier today about some of the accomplishments you've had as a Major League Baseball umpire. Go ahead, Riz. What was it again? I vaguely remembered, but you did.
So I did some research in 2007 for Justin Verlander's no-hitter. I believe you were the first base umpire.
Right.
2011 for Verlander's second no-hitter, you were the third base umpire.
That's correct.
And another one in 2012, the Seattle Mariners threw a combined no-hitter, and you were part of that one at third base. I got to ask you, what is up with you and no-hitters?
Well, I had two behind the plate. In 1994, I had Scott Erickson, who no-hit Milwaukee in Minnesota. And then in 1991, I believe, it might have been 1990, at the old Comiskey Park, the last year of Comiskey Park, I had Andy Hawkins of the Yankees no-hit the Chicago White Sox and lost the game. So he only pitched 8 innings, and that was a legitimate no-hitter until that following winter, when they changed the rulings on no-hitters, and you have to pitch at least a minimum of 9 innings, and he only pitched 8. But if you think about it, a no-hitter losing is a lot more rare than a no-hitter winning, right?
Right.
But technically that was not a no-hitter. But so I had, if you want to count that, I had 5, 2 of them on the plate, 3 of them on the bases, and both of Verlander's, which is kind of wild.
And not many have done that. I mean, for an umpire to be a part of that baseball history, I can't think of many have done that. Maybe 1, 2 here and there, but you be involved with 3 of them. That's quite a feat.
We actually got a question from the chat. Fans are wondering how Dale feels about MLB wanting to use umpire robots in 2024. Yeah. So what's your thoughts on that?
We were going to ask that question, but with all these rule changes, why don't you ask? Dale, nobody would no better than that about a robot umpire, which I think is ridiculous.
Well, you know, I be careful what you ask for. Really, I you know that when replay was expanded. I think that was a good thing. I mean, it's done for the most part. It's done what it's supposed to do, and that is correct obvious errors and get the call right. And that's all anybody wants. But pitches are a little bit different thing. And I still don't understand. And they've had these automated strike zones in AAA this year. They've had it I believe the Atlantic League. What I don't understand is you have a plate umpire who is told verbally what the pitch is, and then he signals it on the field. But what if there's runners at first and second, 3-2 pitch, less than 2 outs, and they're running on the pitch? There's got to be a little bit of a glitch in timing, isn't there? I mean, I know it's not a lot, but it doesn't take a lot to screw up the timing of a catcher if he's going to throw. If it's strike 3 and he's going to throw, or if it's ball 4 and he's not. I mean, that's never been answered to me. I don't understand how it can't be just like it is now. I mean, it's got to be a little bit of a hesitation. But I've gotten to the point. I've talked about this a lot on podcasts. I've been interviewed. I've read things. I've talked to umpires that are on the field right now, guys that I worked with, and I'm getting to the point where I think it might be better. If you want to use some form of a automated strike zone. Let the umpires call the games like they've been doing, and give the managers a couple pitch challenges before the 7th, and then maybe a couple after. And the reason I say that, usually pitch challenges, if you have those, can be resolved pretty quickly. Okay, it's not going to take a lot of time for them to figure out if that was the correct strike or ball call. What that does then is it lets us still have the flow of the game and the game as it runs, but it does give that key pitch in that key time. If a manager doesn't agree, it gives them a chance to challenge that and maybe change it. Now I'm sure there's there'd be some issues with that. I mean, as far as if an umpire called ball 4 and they ran, I don't know. I mean, I haven't thought deeply into it, but my point is this: instead of changing everything, where a plate umpire doesn't call any pitch except when it glitches, which is another story, let's let the guys do what they do. By the way, staff-wise, for the entire season, they're in the 97th percentile of getting pitches right. No, that's not perfect. I understand that, but I think it's a 3 out of 10 as a hitter, you're in the Hall of Fame. So I think 97% is pretty good. But let the umpires umpire. If there's a key pitch, you have your challenges that adds some strategy to when to use your challenge, whatever. But the pitch challenge can go pretty quickly, I think, and I think that way you don't disrupt the entire game.
Yeah, that there might be a question about that, because you just mentioned time-wise. They're looking not to expand. Right. The game is long enough as it is right now, but needs to be done though with the strike zone. A lot of you got colleagues that I didn't notice about you. I admired. I'm not kissing your ass here. I'm not one to do that. But I admired the consistency of your strike zone over the years. And I monitor umpires. I do, because a couple of them have been my friends over the years. In fact, I wanted to be an umpire growing up. Marty Springstead chased me away from it. It said I had a bad – I didn't know the rule book so quick. But
it's funny because he saved my career, actually, but he chased you away.
Well, he chased me away, and I became this dull, boring writer and broadcaster over almost 40 years now, Dale. But I admired the consistency of your strike zone, whereas there's a lot of umpires out there right now that have their own strike zone. I could tell you right now, last week we talked about Doug Eddings, and he had a rating. It was just like, what was it, Wiz? It was like, what, 38%?
Yeah, it was really bad. It was up there.
It was awful. It was awful.
Yeah, it was about 40 missed calls overall.
Do you as the umpire behind the plate, how do you keep that strike zone consistent? Or does it change? Does the league tell you what to do? Or how does that go?
Well, until we had the GPS system, for lack of a better word, until we were able to, track pitches and get evaluated by that. When I first came in the league and until the early 2000s, our strike zones were really wide and really, really short. Now, almost nothing above the belt, but you were calling pitches this far outside, and that was normal, and that's what we did. I mean, but it certainly wasn't the defined strike zone. And so what they did in early 2000s, when we started to get this system where they could track pitches, and they redefined the strike zone. They reworded it to make it more, because it used to be, the shoulder blades. Well, nobody called pitches up there, right? So they reworded to where it is now. It's the midpoint between the shoulders and the waist is your high line, and then your low line is a hollow of the knee, and of course any pitch that's on any part of the plate within those lines. And so that brought everybody back to basically what the strike zone is. And in other words, we weren't way off the plate, and we weren't just calling, nothing above the belt line, basically. And it lowered it just a tad, but that stayed semi the same. So it really, what it did is it did, and that was also coinciding with when we combined the crews or the leagues. So we're, umpiring everybody. And so that really did bring the entire staff much more consistently calling what the defined zone is. I look at games that I umpired in the 90s that it happens to be on or something. I see some of the pitches I call. It's like, oh my God. But again, back then, that's just kind of the way it was, and so that did what it was supposed to do. But the problem I have is and I'm on social media. I see these certain sites that grade umpires, and they have all these stats and all this stuff, but I don't know where they're getting all this. I don't know. I mean, let me put it this way: if the internal MLB evaluations of pitches and stuff, and the mechanisms that they use, the protocols, if guys were missing 30 pitches a game, I mean, you wouldn't have a staff. I mean, everybody be fired, right? I mean, no. I'm not saying that there aren't guys that have tough games or guys that have maybe stronger zones than other guys. We're all human. There's a variance. I'm just not buying into some of these other sites that well, for example, I showed on Facebook not too long ago the exact same pitch, one on a Mets broadcast, one on the Cardinals broadcast, on a 3-2 pitch on their on-screen strike zone. One had it a ball, the other one had a strike. I was showing that just to show that these aren't, this isn't gospel. I don't know how they're set up. I don't know if they've been calibrated, there's a lot of things that go into getting those zones to where they're at. So again, I'm skeptical of some of the stuff that I see online that just has, it rarely has umpires doing very well. It has really, really bad every time.
And you bring up this point as a plate umpire, and I notice this year after year. I've noticed it ever since I've been watching baseball at the ballpark more so. You always see the home plate umpire crouched down behind the catcher before the start of a game or when a new pitcher comes on the mound. You see the plate, and I always wondered, why does that happen? Why is a plate umpire crouched down as the pitcher on the mound is throwing his warm-up tosses? Is that to get an idea of where your zone might be?
No, I would do that for the starting pitchers and the top and the bottom of the inning of the first. And the reason I did it, I want to see the background. I want to see where the ball's coming from.
Okay.
I want to see his maybe his arm angle or something. I'm just trying to get familiar before I see a real pitch.
You're answering a question for me that I finally got to know the answer for that. I've been wondering about that for years.
Yeah,
Dale.
because sometimes you have shadows, sometimes you have the glare, or some. There's all kinds of things. So I'd rather see that on some practice pitches, so to speak, before the.
Also, you managed to be an umpire for plus 3 decades, 85 to 2017. You umpired 3 World Series, 6 LCS, and 12 Division Series. So just like that, my immediate question as a fan and a reporter, I'm just thinking, like, what's the biggest difference in umpiring regular season games compared to postseason games?
Well, the intensity, and not only from the stands, but from the players themselves. You feel it, in the playoffs. When you walk on the field, you just feel the intensity. But the other thing is any postseason baseball is scrutinized and under a microscope. A regular season game, national telecast might have, and I could be wrong here, but it might have 6 cameras or something. A World Series game has 26. Stationary cameras and camera. So everything is magnified. Every pitch is magnified. Every call that we have is magnified. And so the difference is not only the intensity, just the feel and the knowing what's going on there, but is the just under the microscope you are so much. Let's face it. If I kick a call in Cleveland in the 2nd inning in April, not a lot of stuff's going to happen there. If I do that exact same call in October in game 4 of the whatever, it's going to be talked about a long time. Mentally, our job is to get pitches and plays right, no matter what kind of game it is. But we're human. We understand that it's not a Tuesday game in April. This is a game 5 of the divisional series or whatever. So, so it's the intensity.
No matter what, It's not an easy job, and we know that. Let's say you guys are intense pressure on the microscope all the time, as you just mentioned. In particular, you all work together as a crew, and you mentioned that a lot in your book, how you always look up, you guys on the same crew. And now I think the way they rotate umpires, you're not all together as a family as it used to be all year round. I remember it used to be the same four guys all the time. I keep tabs on you guys. I know where you are. I follow every city that you're in, so I
Well,
see
that's
what
called
you're
a- that's
doing.
called
I
a
noticed
stalker,
that they
Rich.
break them up. Is that what it is? Thanks for reminding
go
me
ahead.
about that, Dale. Also, umpires have a good sense of humor. I know that, hanging out with a few of them at Smithsonian and Walensky's in New York.
Yeah, exactly.
But I know where you guys hang out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Dale, the thing is that you guys know, you work well together as a crew. You back each other up. And I've seen that more this year. There's been so much controversy in the first half of the season when it comes to the rules. We saw it twice at games this season up in the press box, in a Met game and the Yankee game. And I can't recall the situation, but the umpires had to clarify the rule, and they had to go to New York, to get them to get the right rule on a certain play. Now, why does that happen? Do you guys have to know every rule, or you're not clued in on everything?
Well, a couple things. For years, I mean, the vast majority of my career, you never had rule changes. I mean, the rules it was like an act of Congress to get a rule change or something. And since really in the last 15 or so years, there's been a lot of changes, a lot of regulations, a lot of, the replay protocol and what can be, challenged and all that stuff is this thick. I mean, it's page after page after page. Then you have the no slide rule. You have the, the catcher blocking rule, whatever again, thick, because there's so many scenarios. So it's not so much that you don't know the rules, but when there's a situation if there's any question, because now we have the, which we didn't have in the past, we have the opportunity where we can just, go right straight to the replay center to clarify, to make sure, what is being decided is correct. They did away with protests. You can't protest a game anymore because we can now go directly to the replay center to, if there's a conflict, to make sure that the ruling's correct and then go from there. But to answer your question, and then since I've been off the field, I mean, you have trips to the mound that you have to count. And what is a trip to the mound? Was that a trip to the mound? The definition.
Exactly.
Of a trip,
that's what happened in Yankee Stadium with Aaron Boone. Yeah.
Right. And so,
they didn't know how many mound visits and what classified it.
Either
which
that,
I felt was insane, that someone should have known that rule.
Well,
that's my point.
And I wasn't there, but maybe what was it? Was it how many visits, or was that a visit, or was the one before? Was that considered a visit? Because there's a definition.
Yeah, that was it. Was it a visit? Which,
and that's a much more complicated than just counting the visits.
Complexities of the game now that you got to know the rules.
It's amazing.
I mean,
changing. You have since 2017 was my last year, so that wasn't that long ago. But since I've been out, I mean, for example, when I was at the Pride Day in San Francisco, they were playing the Dodgers. They asked me, they said, "Hey, we'd like you to exchange the lineups at home plate," and they said, "Can you do that?" And I said, "Christ, yes, I did it 1,000 times. I can do that." So I went out with the umpires, and I got both managers there, and I do what I've been doing since the early '80s. And I screwed it up. And I'll tell you why I screwed it up, because now a copy also goes to the third base umpire, or one of the base umpires, usually second or third. Why? Because they have so much to now have to keep track of, like a scorekeeper, trips to the mound, a clock violation, whatever, that they have two sets of lineups. The plate man, of course, has one set, and then another baseman. Well, I didn't know that, so I'm just giving the lineups to the wrong people. They're looking at me like, what are you crazy? They're supposed to go over here.
In other words, Dale, you got it. You have to know the rules without a rule book in your pocket. Am I right to say that?
Yeah. And okay, I don't know exactly what happened that you witnessed, right? But all I'm trying to say is, yes, of course we know the rules. I mean, obstruction. There's two types of obstruction. Is the ball being played on the runner? Or is the ball not? I mean, yeah, we're but a lot of this stuff now are these intricate regulations and things that have come into play literally in the last 3 or 4 years. So and a lot of this stuff is this thick. So I'm sure it looked maybe unprofessional, but I can understand, especially it's not so much, oh, you just keep track how many trips, but it's what is a trip, right? I mean, if somebody talks to an infielder who then talks to the pitcher, is that a trip? Because he got in. I mean, there's intricacies. It's not just cut and dry. Is what I'm saying.
You brought up
is total insanity. It's insanity because, and you know what I miss about all of this, and we're running out of time here, and I could go another hour, Dale.
Yeah,
Scott.
for sure.
Well, have me back on
the umpire is out.
Awesome.
I'm going to.
Yeah,
I
sure.
am. I'm going to.
Sure.
As long as you want to do it, we got to.
I got one more
I want
question.
to hold the thought, Wiz, because I got to mention this to him. You know what I miss, Dale? I miss that nose to nose baseball, old fashioned baseball argument.
Right.
The argument where Billy Martin, Lou Piniella, Tommy Lasorda, whatever. Over the years, you don't see that no more. I love that. I love that.
Replay has taken that out, and now you might get.
Replay has shown. To me, it goes 50-50. You guys make mistakes, and we look. I'm not perfect. The Wiz isn't perfect. We make mistakes writing and even broadcast. Look, I made a mistake already with you tonight at the beginning of the show. It happens. It's a part of life. It's part of any job. But I'm still going to say this again. You guys have the most sometimes subjective, critical job in sports. The baseball umpire, all sports officials do. But I think baseball umpires have it worse, especially when you had to stand there. And I got to ask you this. I mean, I can go on and on. Did you ever umpire an extra inning game past 15 innings?
Yes. My longest game on the plate was 19 innings, 6 hours and 30 minutes.
Wow.
In 90-degree heat? How about 90-degree
No, it was
heat?
Actually the home opener for Cleveland at the Mistake by the Lake, the 50th anniversary. It was 1992.
And is it true? That has to be. I mean, you had to lose about more pounds than a fighter does when they dehydrate.
Luckily it was in April, so it wasn't hot, but it wasn't bitter cold either. Actually, it was. But your legs are just numb after a while. They're just numb. I mean, you're on almost autopilot in a way. Because it's just.
Have you ever been removed from a game? I'm going to go on and on with you real quick on some points. Were you ever removed from a game because of got hit by a pitch to the mask or whatever?
I had 4
concussions, things like that.
Yeah, I had 4 concussions that I had to leave on foul balls, and I had twice cup shots where I could not go on. Yeah. And that's what took me out. I was gonna retire in 2019, but 2017 that was my 4th concussion and whiplash, and so.
And it's become a very lucrative job. I know umpires now had to work off-season jobs, no more. Now they get paid year round. Basically,
we're paid year round.
Salaries.
The big league, minor league umpires are working in the off season, but not big league guys.
And then it comes down to also where sometimes the conditions where you have to work 3-man crews because I saw this at Yankee Stadium last Sunday. The home plate umpire, I forgot his name, had to get removed from the game because he got hit right in the mask, and he was feeling dizzy. And then 3 men went to work, and that changes your whole row. The first base umpire now has to work third. Yeah, and I'm trying to point out to the Riz, he's never seen that up live before. That has to be difficult where you have to make that transition. When you go from 4 men
we've all
to
worked
3-man
in AAA or in sometimes in spring training, so you know the mechanics. But that being said, it's a big league game is very fast, and you just, obviously when you're down a man, some plays will not be covered as well as they would be if you had 4. But you know the mechanics. You just have to apply them. Yeah.
We got one more question for.
Yeah, he wanted to also was one question that came up. What was his favorite ballpark that you umpired with, and also a favorite player, a pitcher maybe that you enjoyed calling balls and strikes for. That was on the mound. Favorite ballpark, favorite pitcher maybe.
Well, favorite pitcher was any pitcher that threw strikes. I don't care if I didn't. I don't care if I didn't know his name or if he was a Hall of Famer. If you're throwing strikes, it's easier for me. The guys are swinging the bat. If they're swinging the bat, that's less calls that I have to make. If the ball's in the hit and play, everybody's a lot of them. I got a lot of them. The classics, obviously, Fenway. Wrigley. I think Pittsburgh is a beautiful ballpark, and what they did with the background there and the city is gorgeous. Seattle, San Francisco, San Diego, Denver. There's some really good ballparks. The new park in Minnesota is great. I was lucky to see a lot of new parks.
You did, yeah. It's more than I have.
I'll tell you the worst. Tampa.
I got. Oh, well, that's a dump. We all know that's a dump.
I call it arena baseball.
That's Colorado. The Coors Field to me is arena baseball. Umpires no longer brush. I don't see home plate umpires brushing home plate no more with the little broom in their back pocket. Is there a reason why?
Well, be honest. I know this sounds probably not right, but if the entire plate was covered and you just saw the 2 edges, that's all you need. To be honest with you,
you got the corner, yeah,
and
that's another topic we'll talk about next time you come on.
And here's my final thing. We're going to have a 3-part series when we.
Dale, I've been dying to have an umpire talk to me one-on-one like this because if Smiths and Walensky's in New York, I could get no answers that I wanted. You know how that was over there, okay?
I do. I was there the day after I saw you guys.
Yeah, well, I could tell you what Phil Cuzzies told me over the years personally, the Springstead when he was around, so forth. Right. But I found this out about you, umpire. I was going to do this as a fact of the week. Umpires have to wear black underwear over their uniforms because just in case you have a rip in your uniform, unfortunate rip in your pants or something, to not expose yourself. Am I right about that?
Well, it is not mandatory, but if you all it takes is one time to blow out the seat of your pants and be wearing white or red,
then
you'll trust me, you'll be wearing black after that.
Was any final thoughts for Dale Scott? We're really running late on time. I'm getting a call from the producer here. John, let's speed it up.
Dale, we'd love to have you back.
Speed up the game.
Yeah, hey, these are pace of interview rules here.
Exactly.
Yes.
But
listen, ask me back anytime. I would love to BS with you guys and try to answer.
Dale, I got to tell you something. Dale Scott, former Major League Baseball umpire, almost 40 years in the game overall. The umpire is out. Let's put up the cover of the book again. Calling the Game, Living My True Self. Came out.
It's a great book.
Game Man. It's an excellent read. The publisher, Nebraska Press. I encourage people to go out and get it, read it. It's online. You can get it through Kindle, I would guess, online, as well as in your bookstores. This is a fabulous read. I got to congratulate you again. And Dale, I want to thank you for giving us all this time coming on Sports with Rich on the program this week here on the SLG Network. Keep up the good work, my friend. Let's have you on again, all right?
I'd appreciate it. Listen, just a shameless plug. UmpireDaleScott.com is my website. It has the information on there and other stuff. But I would love to come back, guys. Invite me. You got my email. Invite me.
For sure. We'll make it happen.
I will. And Dale, in New York, come to New York. You're going to contact me and the Wiz, Smiths and Lewinsky. The drinks are on me, okay?
I'll be there. What time is it?
How about an hour from now?
Sounds
Dale,
good.
Thank you, my friend. What a pleasure meeting you and talking to you. We'll be in touch.
It's been a lot of fun. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Dale. Dale Scott, the umpire, is out. Wiz, that was great. We ran over. Sorry I hogged up most of it, but to talk to a former Major League Baseball umpire, get his insights and like that. We have a lot more to do. We got to get to keep it in the ring. We have a fighter waiting in the wings. We have to go to another brief break. We've reached the top or past the hour now. New York, 11:10 p.m. We're going to go to this brief update with John, sports update real quick. And then we're going to go keep it in the ring, and we'll have our pro fighter on Bella Boxing Promotions waiting in the wings. All right, John, take it away. Sports with Rich, live on the SLG Network. Back after this.
Thanks, guys. Great interview with Dale, by the way. We learned a lot from him. Hey, guys, it's John here with another sports update right here on Sports with Rich. Unfortunately, the Mets did lose today. They lost by the score of 1-0 to the Cincinnati Reds. I don't know how the Reds actually scored. They didn't get to see that. The Astros right now are defeating the Kansas City Royals by the score of 9-7. They're in the top of the ninth. The Minnesota Twins are currently defeating the Chicago White Sox 8-2. They're actually in a ring. They're in a delay right now in the bottom of the eighth.
Oh man.
You got the Diamondbacks and Giants now are 1-1, top of the sixth. I know the Yankees lost today by the score of 5-2. They are they lost 5-2 to the Pirates. And a few other games have gone final right now. The Braves did win. The Rays won. The Tigers won. The Pirates won, as I mentioned before. The Phillies won. The Orioles defeated the Rangers. The Marlins won. And the Mariners won. And, guys, we're going to throw it over to a quick break to one of our good sponsors of great meat season company called Dano's Meat Season. So you definitely want to check them out. And we'll be right back with Keep It in the Ring on Sports with Rich right here on the SLG Network. We'll be right back right after this.
What's good, everybody? My name is Caleb from the Bayou City Boys over here on the SLG Network. Happy to announce that we are now working with Dano's Seasoning. So if you're anything like me, you meal prep all the time, Dano's is the way to go, man. They got multiple flavors. Hit them up. Be sure to use our code SLG Network. Appreciate every single one of y'all. Peace.
Spending money like it's nothing. I don't have a budget. Please don't get offended when you see the kids stunting. Got my queens with me, but it ain't no Scarborough bluffing. See, I'm riding solo while dependent bitches cuffing. I got all I need, me, myself, and I just love it. I've been gone.
All right, then we're going to have another show opening at top of the hour. I guess John must be overworked tonight. That was great with Dale Scott.
Yeah,
listen, I could talk baseball with him and for hours.
I'm telling you, I learned a lot, and for all the fans out there, you guys definitely learned a lot because, like you said, you were learning so much question on question. We were talking about it last Sunday about the alignments, just little stuff like that. It goes a long way.
He clarified a lot of answers for me. This is Sports with Rich Mancuso, Robert Rizzo, John behind the scenes, SLG Network. Like, comment, and subscribe here on YouTube. Also, my channel, Rich Mancuso. We're on all social media platforms. Tuesday night, 10 p.m. live, 11:15 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to keep it in the ring. Do we have, before we get into some keep it in the ring news, is Saleh on there in the cube, John, or did he give up waiting for us? We have a pro fighter making it. Here we go. Let's get to him first because Ali's been waiting patiently. Let's fill you in on this young man out of New Jersey on Bella Boxing Promotions. John, put up the fight post. Do we have the fight posted for Bella Promotions? John, there we go. Bella Fight Night, Bergen County 2, coming up at the Great American Dream in East Rutherford, New Jersey, right in the backyard of MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And here's a young man who's making his pro debut on the card along with Julian, the experienced Julian Hammering Hands Rodriguez, former top-ranked contender who's going to be on the program maybe next week. This is Ali Saleh, super featherweight, making his debut in a tough division, and a pleasure to have him on Sports with Rich. He is going to be fighting his pro debut 4 rounds on that Abella boxing card coming July 29th, Friday night. Televised also on BNJ TV. I am probably going to be one of the commentators at ringside and anxiously waiting to call his fight. Ali, thank you. Welcome to the program. I appreciate you waiting patiently. I know it's past your bedtime, but, we've had a long, long hour. How are we doing, my friend?
Long day, man. Very, very long day. Just exhausted.
Yeah, tell us about your long day, because not only are you making your pro fighting debut, you're from Yemen, which, that's a country not really known for boxing, more soccer, but more fighters are coming out of Yemen. I know that. And what got you into boxing at a late age? How old are you again?
30. I just turned 30 3 months ago.
Super featherweight. What got you to start a pro debut at 30 years of age?
You talking about as of now, or you mean just to begin with from boxing in general?
As of now, what took you so long to get a pro debut?
Just looking for the right. I could have went and fought. I was supposed to go fight actually July 29th, the same date. I was supposed to go to DR and fight. So I was just looking for something close to home so I can have all my family, people that just come and watch me. But I was looking for the right time. Everything happens for a reason. So I'm glad it's at this time. Maybe it's a little late, but it's what it is, man.
You already did a little preview.
Better late than never.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. No, you're right.
You said a little preview to it already, but you're going to be fighting in your home state in front of your friends, family, supporters, everyone.
Yes,
so
I could see the American Dream Mall from my house. Actually,
that place is huge. We just drove by it today. Place is huge.
It's very, and it's an honor to fight there, man.
I was gonna say, what's the lead up and what's your anticipation for fighting in front of your friends, family, supporters, right there in your home state?
It's another day for me, man. To be honest with you, I'm not gonna say I'm not nervous. There's a little bit nervous there, but to be honest with you, when I go in there, I'm gonna shut everything off and just focus on the guy in front of me, man. Because I'm looking forward for the fight of the night. To be honest with you, that's what I'm aiming for. So I'm trying to get in there, get him out quick, and just leave. I'm not trying to stay too long.
Ali Saleh from the country of Yemen, now living in New Jersey in the East Rutherford area, right in the backyard of the American Dream, Abella Boxing Promotions, Friday, July 29th, Berkeley County Fight 9-2. He's one of those fighters, 4-rounder, making his pro debut. Ali, what fighters did you admire growing up and that got you so inspired to get in the ring?
I mean, this one's easy for me, man. It's Prince Nassim Hamed, of course. That's
one of my favorites.
That's definitely, if anything, that's the only one. But I still got Muhammad Ali. That's another guy for me, and a few other fighters. But for me, the person that got really into boxing was my own, countryman, Prince Nassim. So that's the man right there, man.
So it goes deep in the roots.
For
sure. And what I was gonna say is about the fight overall, but you're consistently in the gym training, and I want to bring up the fact you're working every day. So what's it like for you to have that 24/7, 365 mindset?
I mean, to be honest, my job is the gym because I own my own gym. So I'm working and training in the same place. So that's my life. That's what I live. That's why I gave myself the opportunity to actually fight pro, or else, if I wasn't training like that, I would never put myself in a position like that where I can get myself hurt, embarrassed, whatever the case may be. But I'm always in the gym and I know what I'm capable of, and so that's why I was like, we got to get a pro fight because I'm done with the amateurs. The amateur was not it for me. It's not. I'm way too slow paced, and I like to pick my shots and just pro. I got a pro style, so that's.
I was gonna say.
What is that pro style? Yeah.
More like.
What is that pro style? What do fans have to know about you going into your pro debut that we don't know? We don't know much about you, so fill us in. What should they expect? What is your forte?
Man, it's a little bit of boxing, but there's some explosiveness when I'm in there. When I'm in there, I got the footwork, the in and out, side to side movement. If the opponent gives me the chance to play around with them and make them a clown, then it's gonna happen that night. I'm gonna turn it into a show. So that guy's gonna have to be on his toes.
And yet you don't. you don't know who your opponent is as of yet, which obviously that becomes a task because you just have to prepare, not knowing who you're going in there against in your debut. How does that present an obstacle to you?
I know who my opponent is.
Oh, you do?
Yes,
You got him?
it's a kid from California, Filipino kid.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do. I wasn't aware of that. He already has an opponent, Wiz, and we're involved with the show, and I wasn't familiar with it. But so you're ready. You're ready. You're ready.
I was gonna tell you,
he's a Filipino.
He's 1-1 in boxing. He got out 3-4 months ago, I think, and he's 0-2 in MMA.
So it's two
Okay.
different. Yeah, so he got it.
Yeah,
It's tough to be. It's tough to be doing. It's tough to be doing MMA and boxing. You don't see that a lot.
It gives me the advantage because all I do is boxing. You know, MMA fighters don't have that boxing game, man. And
Right. I agree.
I ask a lot of fighters. I ask a lot of fighters, and I love hearing their answers. You have to be a student of the game to get better day by day, progress yourself, watch others fight, all that good stuff. So for you, what do you take out of the gym other than your personal training? You're watching other guys fight. You're watching other guys spar in the training sessions, just like that.
I go work with the best, man. This was the day I went to spar with a couple.
Oh wow!
An Italian kid, those two amazing fighters. So aside from just learning, watching fights, and having a coach that was a retired pro, 30 fights. So I have all that experience on my side, and sparring with guys that had 300 amateur fights and are undefeated, 16-0. Like a kid named, I don't know if you guys ever heard of a kid named John Bauza, Puerto Rican kid.
Yes, I did. Yeah, true.
Okay, from my hometown. I've been around with him. So I used to spar with him all the time, and he used to beat me. He used to give me a good whooping, but that helped me a lot. So, and here I am now.
Now you're in a super featherweight division, and that's a division that's very competitive. And at your age, you know that these guys may not be. I don't know how much longer they'll be around, but Leo Santa Cruz has been there. The names, Stevie Fulton, junior featherweight, all a part of that. You got Emmanuel Navarrete. There's some great fighters in your weight class, and yet you're debuting July 29th. How long do you think it'll take you to make an impact in this sport at your weight, at your division?
It's how quick I turn around, how quick I end this first. I don't want to look past this first fight. It depends how this fight goes. And I'm not actually staying at 130. I'm actually going to drop to 126. I'm just going to 130 for my debut, and I'm going back down. I'm not going to stay.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for telling us that. Yeah.
Going down. I'm not going to stay at 1 because I know they're a little bigger. They're a little stronger. I mean, I got the power and speed to stay there, but why not have an advantage? Or obviously, similar styles down at 126. So.
Well, you little guys, you guys at that weight in boxing make the sport. Both of you fight tight inside, like they call it the telephone booth. That's what they call it. Is that what you intend to do on July 29th? Fight that type of style guys in your weight class often do?
The guy I'm fighting is a little taller. I think he got a couple inches on me, so I am gonna get up in his chest and I'm gonna stay inside and just take out his. That's my game plan. I'm gonna box him for a little bit, see what he has from outside. But once I get inside, it's over for him, So my plan is not to stay outside because he has the reach and everything. But I've seen him. Like I said, I've looked at the video. It was only a 40-second fight. He got knocked out in like 40 seconds the first round. So there's not much to take away from it other than he has horrible defense and he's very slow. So once I get inside, I'm just gonna, just let my.
We're about 3.5 weeks from the fight night, and I was going to ask you, what's the training been like, and what's it like working with Abella Boxing?
It's been amazing, man. It's like, it's my first promotion this is the first promotion I work with. So, everybody's been cool with me. I've been selling tickets. Thank God, that's the main thing, because I remember I was set to go and fight in DR, but I saw the promotion and I messaged them. And what do you know? The next day I'm already on the card. Like they put me on the card right away. So, I told them, I messaged them. I said, listen, you guys want butts? I know this is business, and you guys want butts in those seats, and I can do that. So let's get me on there. And they, we spoke to them, got my paper, here I am. I'm a pro.
You're a ticket seller. You're very popular, and you're in Rutherford in that area, right? East Rutherford in that vicinity.
I'm from
Okay, so
you're the only two from North Bergen. We're the only two guys.
you're popular. You know what? You're known citywide in the New York City area. People know who you are. I mean, you have a good social media presence. But I presented your name out there up in the Bronx to some people that have Yemen's. How do you pronounce the name? Is it Yemen? I want to make sure. Okay, they own delis all over the borough in the Bronx, and a lot of them in the New York City area. And I present your name to them; they know who you are.
Yeah, it's Facebook.
So your social media presence, whatever. I mean, so you are a great. I know Scott Abella, the promoter of Bella Boxing, loves ticket sellers. So you got a deal there, and you're self-managed. You don't have a manager, to my understanding, right? How difficult is that? How difficult is that in the competitive world of boxing to manage yourself?
Not difficult at all. As long as you have the money to do it, and you got I got the gym. I got a gym to train in. I got the money I got the backup and everything. So, I don't really need anybody to manage me at the moment, at this early in my career. But obviously down the road, I'm gonna need some type of management because we know how boxing is. We know what the business.
Yeah, I do.
So
I've been around it almost 40 years. I know. Yeah.
So
the pressure of owning a business, and how do you real quick, and we'll let you go because I know you got to get some rest, and we're going to come watch you spar tomorrow as well. How do you put in a day like that? All this pressure, and how do you manage to do it? Sometimes I could barely get an hour in, and I'm like, I want to doze off and go to sleep. How do you do it, my friend?
Well, at the moment, like I said, I'm getting ready for the fight because while I was running my gym, I was actually doing a couple overnights in my dad's deli to give the worker a night off. But as of now, my dad's letting me focus. Like I said, that's the family backup and everything. So I'm getting this whole 2 months, whatever. I'm not working at all. Just gym, take care of my gym. That's my only job right now, and then train. That's it. Nothing else for now. If in case they need me to help them here and there, like I said, July 4th, I went and helped out for a little bit, but nothing too crazy. I still get my training. That's all that matters.
And doing your road work in the morning. We're keeping you up past your bedtime. I'm sure it's past my bedtime as well. But then you get to the gym, you spar. You're eating well. You look good, my friend. We're gonna watch you spar tomorrow. What's the name of the gym?
Ape Kingdom Boxing. Ape Kingdom Boxing. This is the
right. And we're on there you go. You make sure the Wiz and I get a shirt like that tomorrow, right?
I'm gonna, I ran out, but I'm gonna have to because everybody now is asking me for them all of a sudden. So
that's the old story. They always run out on Rich Mancuso. They run out of shirts.
I haven't had these.
I know you have
4 or 5.
I know
because your ticket sales. You're popular, man.
But listen,
we can guarantee a successful pro debut from you on July 29th at the Great American Dream on the Abella Boxing Bergen County Fight Night 2. Successful win for your pro debut.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
His name is Ali Salah. Is that how you pronounce your last name?
Saleh Ali.
Saleh Ali. And I got to get that right because I'm broadcasting the fight. Yeah, July 29th, Bergen County. I'll get it right. I botch up names. I'm not going to botch up yours. When I see you in the gym tomorrow, you're going to school me on how to say that name right. Okay?
I can do that. Definitely. That's no worries.
Keep it in the ring, my friend. I'll see you tomorrow, and thanks for giving us some time. Pleasure meeting you.
A pleasure meeting you.
I look forward to seeing him sparring tomorrow. Have a good night. Rest up. See you tomorrow. You might be sparring me.
All right. No worries, man. All right.
Wiz, that was great.
Yeah, for sure. I can't wait for fight night.
Yeah, and we're going to see him spar tomorrow. We're going to go to the gym and see Saleh Ali. Pronounce his name again for me.
Saleh Ali.
Saleh Ali.
Saleh Ali.
Super featherweight 4-rounder, part of a 10-bout scheduled right now. Abella Boxing Card promotion, July 29th at the American Dream in East Rutherford, New Jersey, Bergen County Fight Night at Bill of Boxing Promotions. John, put up the fight poster one more time. Tickets are still on sale. Televised on the BNG TV network. I'm a part of that broadcast. The Wiz will be there helping me out. And we're going to see Julian Hammer and Hand Rodriguez, the welterweight, the former contender with Top Rank Boxing, who's still got a lot in him. He's the headliner. And we'll be talking more about that leading up to Fight Week, which is coming up 3 weeks, right, Wiz?
Just like that. It's coming quick.
That was great. We'll do. All right. Now, let's continue with Keep It in the Ring. We have to get that, and we got a lot more to go. We have NBA to talk about. We'll do that later. Let's get to some quick Keep It in the Ring boxing stuff first. Of course, we continue with Keep It in the Ring. And I want to thank Ricardo for having me on once again last night, like at 1:45 a.m. on WFAN in New York. I mean, come on, Rick, put me on earlier. I want to sleep, but that's great exposure. Great to go on with my buddy Ricky Ricardo to talk some Keep It in the Ring. We did that 5 a.m. coming off July 4th. There's still a lot of talk and going to happen soon. We'll have an announcement that Earl Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford welterweight title unification bout going to happen maybe by the end of the year. My sources are Top Rank. Maybe still part of this, but even though Crawford's no longer with them, but my sources tell me at the PBC that Earl Spence is pushing for this fight. It's a matter of getting the networks together, the logistics. Probably going to hear something pretty soon. Anthony Joshua heavyweight title fight rematch coming up. That's waiting up. Joshua and Usyk will be fighting in August. They're going to try and the rematch. The boxing season is just about over with the major fights, but we still have activity going on between now and September when it resumes again and picks up in intensity again. And that's going to be over the pond there in London. Saturday night, boxing will be busy on the networks again on the Zone. The heavyweight rematch, Derek Chiozza and Kubrat Pavlov in London. That's a rematch. Implications there in the heavyweight title division. Showtime has the WBC featherweight champion Nagasta versus the former champ Ray Vargas. That's on Showtime Championship Boxing this weekend. You get to see that. Other than that, the boxing news is pretty quiet as we get ready for Canelo Triple G Trilogy in September. And promoters and matchmakers are busy putting together. They're doing it now. They're getting things going for the fall and the winter to complete a great first 6 months of the boxing season, which I'll recap more in detail next week. All right, Keep It in the Ring, pro wrestling. Let me bring in John behind the scenes, our great producer here at the SLG Network. John, I'm going to talk to you about Money in the Bank and first talk about the deal with Logan Paul. John hosts the show before us, Beyond the Ropes, right? Do I have the name of the show right finally?
Around the Ropes.
Around the Ropes. Well, you know what? It's Keep It in the Ring. It's Around the Rope. I don't blame you if you want to put your hands around my neck because I didn't get the name right. And it's telling me again that it's late. Logan Paul signs a deal with the WWE, supposedly going to wrestle Miz at SummerSlam. I'm not a fan of Logan Paul. I don't know what WWE is doing this, except they need ratings. What did you think of that briefly?
Yeah, I completely agree. They need ratings. They want to attract the younger demographics. And how much bigger can you get than somebody like Logan Paul, who's big on TikTok and YouTube right now?
I don't know where that's going, though, because Miz, to me, is still one of their top guys with the mouth and his ring ability. Do you think they'll be together, him and Logan Paul? Do you think Paul and the Miz will tag team again, or will they rival each other?
They're going to have a rivalry. That coming off of what happened at WrestleMania, it's clear that they're going for a rivalry between the two, because then they can also attract the mainstream media, because you have one of your biggest reality stars against a YouTuber.
All right, but coming off Money in the Bank, which I thought, Wiz, you got a comment? Keep It in the Ring Pro Wrestling that you don't follow that much?
I was going to say it connects the dots all aligned because there's so many, all the topics across sports. It always comes up with that. And if they connect different industries, it's gonna work.
Well, you could also look at Logan Paul's popularity as a social media
Well,
phenom too.
well, when you brought up the Paul brothers, and immediately I thought of Jake Paul because we got the news about 2 hours ago. Jake Paul is finalizing a deal to face Hasim Rahman Jr. August 6th.
Right.
And
Rahman Jr. is the son of the former heavyweight contender.
Yeah. And Paul
because Tommy Fury cannot get entrance into the United States. That's the August 6th Showtime pay-per-view card that they're saving because Fury can't come in. That's not Tyson Fury. That's his brother.
Yeah, Tommy Fury.
Or his cousin. Yeah. So, you know, they had to save the card, so that's why they did that. So back to Money in the Bank, John. I thought it was an outstanding WWE event on Peacock. I enjoyed it. Theory obviously is becoming their superstar sensation at 22 years of age. He was a Money in the Bank winner unexpectedly, got in there, and now has a shot. Where does he go with that, though?
I don't know, because I'm curious to see how they book him, because he doesn't come off as somebody who's credible to go after Roman. So I don't know what they're going to do with him. I don't know if this is going to be another Otis situation from last year, where they have him drop.
I don't know. He may have the rematch with Bobby Lashley for the U.S. title as well. That looks like that might be. Is that a SummerSlam match?
Yeah, that's going to be happening at SummerSlam.
So what they're doing with that Money in the Bank briefcase with Theory, by the way, Riz, Money in the Bank, do you know what that is?
I know what that is, but it's funny. I did not know who Theory was before this.
Well, now you know.
Now I know.
I might call you. I might call you Theory Jr. You know, you don't have his nose, but you know you have it. You're about the same age as Theory. You got to put on a little more muscle and weight, though.
It will get there.
You know, we go out to dinner tonight before we go on the air. What do you think he has? He has a chance to order a nice pasta dinner like I do. What is he going to have? The burger and the fries. That's the whiz.
Yeah, okay? But Rich, you're also forgetting one thing, though, with the whiz. He's not taking a selfie every 8 seconds. Like that.
Oh, that too. That's right. True. Right. Yeah, my young
I'm on Twitter.
He's also a Twitter monkey, as I call him. John, Ronda Rousey, what was the meaning of her taking the title away from her? Legitimately injured? Now they talk that made Charlotte Flair and her again?
No, having Liv cash in on her, it's to give Liv that run with the title. And from what I read, they're setting up Ronda to turn heel, to work a program with Liv.
Yeah, which I think would be good. I think that'd be a good idea. You know what I don't like about Ronda Rousey is Liv Morgan. I can't stand. I don't like the whole thing. I don't like her theme music coming in. The whole story. What's so successful about it? Big deal. I mean, you know, there are so many better WWE female stars than her. I don't get why she got the money. Why she's got that title right now.
Well,
I don't get it.
We talked about it on our show earlier. We said who is Ronda Rousey? Like, what is her character?
I don't know. We'll have to watch a program and see what the commentary was about that. Let's go to AEW. Because I brought this up with Ricky Ricardo on WFAN last night. How AEW right now with some of their main roster stars down for the count. What is the latest with Danielson's injury and Punk? When are they expected back?
From what I'm gathering, they're not sure yet with Punk. Danielson, I don't think from last I read, he hasn't been cleared yet to return to in-ring action. And with Danielson, they're going to be real careful because obviously he has the history of being injured when he was still in WWE. But it's going to be wait and see with a lot of them.
Is there more dependence now on their New Japan stars and Ring of Honor guys? And what about MJF? Everyone's asking me, and I can't answer because I'm not in on the loop like I used to be. What's MJF's status? Something came out today that he's looking to renew his contract with AEW. What's the latest on MJF?
He is looking to renew his contract. His contract's set to expire in 2024. However, he basically took his ball and went home right now because he's trying to sit out his contract. Supposedly, the plan was for him to work a program with Punk going into All Out in September, and that he was supposed to take the belt off of Punk prior to Punk's injury, from what I read today.
Interesting. Yeah, very interesting. I think Monday Night Raw is doing a little better. The creativity to him, giving a little better tune to it. SmackDown is, to me, their shows are getting better as of late. I don't know what you can attribute that to, but I think Theory has a lot to do with it. I think the Bobby Lashley feud with Omos started all that interest, and Seth Rollins is my favorite, but I seem to be a little more tuned in. And you know what I noticed on Monday Night Raw last night?
Mm-hmm.
Picture in picture on July 4th. That's what AEW does. I wonder if they're going to continue to do that so they can retain the audience.
I don't know.
I wonder.
They seem to start and stop things a lot in WWE. So I don't know if this could be a weekly thing or it's just one of those things that they'll be able to try and see what happens.
Also, one other thought before I let you go, John, on this part of Keep It in the Ring on Sports with Rich tonight. What did you make of the AEW stars that used to be in WWE? Last Monday, Monday Night Raw last week on the John Cena tribute, I found that to be very interesting that you had Chris Jericho, Daniel Bryant, Paul Wright, Big Show, even Mark Henry, who didn't make it on the air. They didn't have time to put it in. WWE stars now in AEW on WWE programming, giving tribute to John Cena. Supposedly Tony Khan reached out, and WWE had no problem with it. And Tony Khan said, look, the wrestling business is healthy and strong and nothing wrong with it. I thought that was great that they worked together doing that.
I thought it was fantastic. And it's the old saying, if you can't rewrite history, because when you think of Cena and his career, you think of Jericho, you think of Bryan Danielson, and you think of Big Show.
Yeah. And that was big. All right. John, thanks again. When is your show? Around the Ropes, Inside the Rope.
We are live every Tuesday and Saturday at 8 p.m. right here on the SLG Network.
And you do a good job with it. But thanks for giving us some insights on Keeping in the Ring tonight. Tony Khan said he will do this show with us eventually. Let's wait and see. I'm sure he will. He will. Big John, he's a producer here for me on Sports with Rich on the SLG Network every Tuesday night with me, Robert the Wiz Rizzo. Wiz, one other thing to Keep It in the Ring before we break and go to our final segment. We're going to go 12:30 tonight. Again, 2.5 hours because we still got NBA and much more. UFC took center stage this past Saturday. Same in Las Vegas where Money in the Bank and WWE. UFC was in the T-Mobile Arena. WWE couldn't sell tickets, so they went to the MGM Grand Arena, which is right across the street in that same vicinity. UFC had a big title fight. Tell us about Israel. What's his name? Everyone knows I am not a UFC fan. Everyone knows how I feel about UFC. I'm a boxing guy, and I will not. I can't get into UFC. Never did, never will. I'll watch it once in a while. Still turns me off. So you could ask me, Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz. I know those names because they're in the news all the time, but I don't know who this guy was. Tell us about him.
Yeah, Israel Adesanya, better known as Stylebender, but he was the main event in UFC 276 against Jared Cormier, and Adesanya won in the 5th round by decision. It went the whole fight, and now Adesanya is an impressive 23-1-0 for his career in 24 fights. He has 1 loss, and he said post fight, and it relates to WWE. So I thought John and you would get a kick out of it. He said it's not going to be a full-time job, but I'm definitely going to jump into WWE or something along that line.
Interesting. Now, question to you. Are you ready? You fit the bill you could be a UFC fighter. Are you ready?
Oh, hell no. I am not ready. I watched those fights on Saturday, and within 15 seconds, I'm like, how are these people still standing? It takes
Yeah,
one
but
kick.
you know you do a lot of walking, and your feet do a lot of walking. I could see you being a possible UFC. Why do you like the? Before we go to break, why do you like UFC so much? And I know you like boxing. You're getting more into it. And why do you young puppies, as I call you, love the UFC so much as compared to boxing? Because UFC is drawing more, and their ratings are comparable or even a little better. Why?
I honestly think. Well, we got a comment from Bayou City Boys. He said
that was interesting.
When Adesanya came out, he came out as the Undertaker. It was really dope. But
what I was fan of his, he came out with the urn, and he came out with his entrance music. I heard that surprised me. Yeah, why? Why UFC?
I'm such a big UFC fan because it's the unpredictable factor. Within one round, the whole fight can change. It takes one kick, and you see it. Well, I don't know, not you, but with the betting, for all our viewers out there that bet, these lines are crazy. It would be minus 450 for the favorite. Goes into the night. 1 round knockout, just a quick upset, and you're up. You could be up $200 just like that by betting what? $30, $20. That's why UFC is fun.
Well, you know what? Keep it. All right. As I keep it in the ring every week here on the program, Sports with Rich. I'm Rich Mancuso. That's the whiz, Robert Rizzo. John behind the scenes, SLG Network. Like, comment, and subscribe here on the network. Also on my YouTube page, Rich Mancuso. We got a lot more to do. We're going to take another brief sports update. I know the Mets lost 1-0, a heartbreaking loss. The Braves won. Yankees lost to the Pirates. A lot of baseball that's dominating right now. 2 weeks to the All-Star break. So we're going to go a quick update. We're going to get a nice extended breather here, the Wiz and I. And coming up will be Nobody Beats the Wiz, your answer to the fact of the week. A lot of NBA talk. We got a lot more to do. This is Sports with Rich. I'm Rich Mancuso, live on the SLG Network with the Wiz, Robert Rizzo. Back at you on the other side after this. We're going to have a timeout, sports update, extended break, another show opening, and we'll be back. So hang in there with us. As always, thanks for being with us. Back after this.
Thanks, guys. Great stuff that you guys are talking about. We got a lot of stuff going on right now in the world of baseball. Obviously, as you know, both New York teams lost tonight. The Mets lost 1-0 to the Reds.
Oh my
and
God!
Yankees lost 5-1 to the I just lost my train of thought there, to the Pirates. We have a lot going on in baseball right now, so I'm going to just run through what we got going on right now. The San Francisco Giants are currently defeated the Arizona Diamondbacks by a score of 2-1. The Athletics are defeating the Blue Jays by a score of 5-3. The Dodgers are defeating the Rockies by a score of 4-2. Everything else has gone final right now. The Mariners, the Marlins, the Orioles, the Phillies, the Pirates, the Tigers, the Red Sox lost. The Braves won. The Astros won. The Twins won. And the Cubs won. And guys, we will be right back after a quick word from our sponsor of What's Poppin' Corn Sacks. If you go to the website, use our code SLG, you'll save 20% on your order. It's some of the best popcorn you will have pound for pound. And then one of our great sponsors. And the guys will be right back right after this.
Doing bad, they gon' love you. Yeah. Doing good, they gon' hate you. Yeah. Look down on your come up, but to the hustle, stay faithful. Big goals by the rate full. Drip everywhere, that's wasteful. Accent color, that's tasteful. We front and center at the tape. Got 3-5 in my blunt. Yeah. 4 extra mud in my cup. Yeah, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that. I was out of luck. Yeah, now my money up. Yeah, they feeling that. They feeling that. They feeling that. Show her in the truck, then throw it in the guts. Yeah, she feeling that. She feeling that. She feeling that. Niggas talking tough, yeah, till we pulling up. Now he feeling that. He feeling that. He feeling that. Save me a gold casket. My life been tragic. Good gas and blunts pass. Blow out a nigga head gaskets. Fuck boys, don't need them. Yo bitch crazy, better keep her. Yo niggas high when it's time to ride, but I bet let that bitch start squeezing. Smoke sessions in the evening, private chef and we eat it. It's a long way from voyeur to 4 years in Lamborghinis. Move different, can't see me. Only pictures ain't on TV. Tribe meetings and vibe readings, these space race like E.T. We had roaches in the kitchen, now it's rooms in the villa. Took the cards I was dealt, flipped them, I'm the one who do the dealing. Did so much of my own, baby, I don't give a fuck about feelings. Everybody got a lot to say, but ain't nobody came with it. Fuck it, I spend it, had it, I lent it. Trusted some niggas, now I regret it. I can forgive it, never forget it. Niggas still out there, I ain't gon' get it. Yeah, this is it, I can't slow up. Niggas muddy from the pole up. Big sauce like a cold cut, you either hoe up or you gon' blow up. Got 3-5 in my blunt, 4 extra mud in my cup. Yeah, I'm feeling that, I'm feeling that, I'm feeling that. I was out of luck, yeah, now my money up. Yeah, they feeling that, they feeling that, they feeling that. Show her in the truck, then throw it in the guts. Yeah, she feeling that, she feeling that, she feeling that. Niggas talking tough, yeah, till we pulling up. Now he feeling that, he feeling that, he feeling that. Where the ghost mean power, you a star, Omari Hardwick. Seen a lot of hardships, we was taking long trips. Talking through the glass, gotta medicate with strong hits of ganja. Gotta watch how people move around you. My brother got sittings cause of snitch. Niggas dying over bitches, niggas lie like it's religion. If you been dying, you feel me. Gotta keep applying pressure, double up, that boy can stretch it. Good credit or no credit, they need it, go get it. Lil' baby, this is me, what you get is what you see. And you best believe we wore red. Got 3-5 in my blunt, 4 extra mud in my cup. Yeah, I'm feeling that, I'm feeling that, I'm feeling that. I was out of luck, yeah, now my money up. Yeah, they feeling that, they feeling that, they feeling that. Show her in the truck, then throw it in the guts. Yeah, she feeling that, she feeling that, she feeling that. Niggas talking tough, yeah, till we pulling up. Now he feeling that, he feeling that, he feeling that.
Lock the door and keep your eyes shut. The lights flicker, there's evil all around us. No one's safe from the nightmare. Cold sweat, so scared. Someone get me out of here.
Well, hour number 2 is. We're going into the midnight hour, 2 hours of sports with Rich. I'm Rich Mancuso. That's a whiz, Robert Rizzo. We've had an hour and a half, up to 2 hours now of sports talk, great interviews. Dale Scott and our former Major League Baseball umpire. I'm going to have him on again, Wiz. That was great. And Ali Saleh, who's fighting on the Abella boxing show.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Do you hear me? I need the Wiz. We're having a little technical issue there. Hello, Wiz. Do you hear me? Maybe his internet connection. You know, this is live right now, worldwide on the SLG network, and sometimes technical issues occur. Wiz, do you hear me? I see him, but I don't know if he's heard me, but he's going to log on and come on back. And I need him because Nobody Beat the Wiz is coming up soon, and I got to go over that with him. We do that every week on the program. I say yes or no with the Wiz, and I pick his ear a little bit as I say yes or no on a certain issue, and he'll give me his answer. Nobody Beats. So I'm improvising right now. This is live, and this is what happens when you're doing a live show, whether it be on real life TV, radio, or here on YouTube and the SLG network on the internet, as we call it in this era of technology. So we'll wait to get the Wiz right back in. I need him. He's my co-host. He's my protege. He's the young puppy. He's the guy doing it. So, John, I hope he can come back in with him. I don't know where he went. Because we have to do some NBA talk coming up, and then Nobody Beats the Riz, and I got some other notes to go over. Your comments, if you're still on with us here past midnight here in the New York City area, wherever you are, and I think there he is. Are you back, Riz?
I'm back. I apologize.
What happened? I know we're in Atlantic City.
Out of all the people, I had the internet issues. I don't know what else to say.
No, I went off the air briefly myself a little while ago during the break. I don't know what happened, but I thought maybe you got, maybe you hit it big in the casino or something,
Well,
and you ran away. But you ran away.
It's funny you bring up the casino. I got a little keychain going of Harris. Shout out Harris, Atlantic City.
So now everybody knows where we are. Thanks for letting the world know where you and I are tonight. Doing a little boxing business on the side, but I thought you ran away on me. I thought you took off.
Nah,
you're becoming such a young rising superstar. I don't know where you're going to end up.
Nah,
may not be here next week. Leave the old man by him. I'm lost without you, my friend. I depend on you. I depend on you for so much. Rob, the Wiz has become a great writer as well. He writes for LatinoSports.com. I encourage you to read LatinoSports.com and read his content. It's excellent. I write for the site as well, NewYorkSportsDay.com. Also, they call me a hooer in the business. I tell everyone that. But after all, I'm ending my career soon, so I got to do everything I can. Keep the money coming in till I go. But you're doing a great job.
I appreciate that.
Your research, your material's impeccable. Your writing is impeccable. You're one of these rising stars in the business. I kid you not. Okay. And
learning from the best.
Well, look, everybody says I'm not the best, but I'm not the best. There are so many other great. I love those comments and accolades about me, and I appreciate that. You and everyone else out there, my supporters. But you know what? There are others out there that have done this as long as I have, are just as good. I'm not the best, but, as far as a mentor and a teacher, and I love doing that. And then I'm going to say this again from day one since I met you 6 months ago and got this venture started with me. We've done so much in the last 5-6 months. You've learned a lot, and you're a good learner. Look, I don't want to. Look, you know how I feel about you, okay? Except you don't eat right. You need to eat better. Get away from the burgers and get it. That's all he does.
I got that baseball diet: chicken fingers, fries, hamburger.
What did you eat? And I wasn't invited to a barbecue on July 4th by anyone. And I don't care. I hate fireworks. I said that on social media, and I'm not a big barbecue fan, so I don't care if I was invited to your barbecue or whatever. Okay, but I can bet you. What did you do?
Well,
hamburger fries again.
Yeah, hamburger fries, grilled chicken, and that's pretty much it.
Corn on the cob, whatever. All right.
I'm too simple.
Yeah. Let's get back to real business here. Let's talk what we do. Sports.
Yep.
SLG Network Sports with Rich Mancuso, Robert the Rizzo. You with social media again. Where did it get you, Rob?
You can follow me on Twitter, RobertRiz994, Instagram rRizzo4, Facebook Robert Rizzo, and as I said before, Latino Sports. Check it out daily. We have baseball recaps, everything Latino. It's all in there.
And I'm at Ring786 on Twitter, Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso, Mancuso786 on Instagram. I'm tired of all this crap. I'm tired of social media, but I got to do it. That's part of the business. I vent every day. Everybody gets tired of it. You know what? Tune me off if you don't like it, but that's how I feel. I'm opinionated. I let it know how I feel. And that's simple as that. All right. Enough of that. Let's get to the NBA news. A lot of that. Free agency is going hot and strong right now in the NBA. Devin Booker signed 4 years, $224 million. Talk about baseball players making a lot of money. Listen to this. Devin Towns of the Wolves, 4 years, $224 million. Was it Morant of the Grizzlies, right?
Yep.
5 years, $193 million. And Jokic, the Joker, largest NBA contract ever. What was the amount of that one that he got?
I believe it was like 260, 264.
I mean, you talk about MLB baseball players making a lot of money. Look at that. And it continued. Now, Jalen Brunson and the Knicks, an interesting story. The Knicks got him. And what is that going to do? Goes from Dallas to the Knicks. How does this help this New York Knicks team that's so dysfunctional?
It definitely helps RJ Barrett, I think, in the long term, because they definitely need another shooter out there with him to pair alongside him. And overall, they signed him for 4 years, $104 million. And that equals, that That's the fourth player for in the Knicks organization to get $100 million plus in a contract. Julius Randle, Carmelo Anthony, Allen Houston, and now Jalen Brunson. So the times will tell.
What's going on with the Nets now with Kyrie and Durant? What of your people in the NBA that you're in touch with more than me? What are they saying about these two? Do they stay in Brooklyn? Do they split? Are the Nets better with or without either one or two of them? What's the latest?
Well, in the NBA, we see it week by week. The storylines change. Like every day, there's new tweets, new rumors coming out. Today, we had a bunch of rumors saying the Brooklyn Nets organization, they want to keep Kyrie and KD. They want to keep them and just see how it goes until training camp and see if they can get a better trade piece, or because the only thing out there right now is DeAndre Ayton and the other Miami Heat with Bam Adebayo, but they can't trade Bam Adebayo because of the rookie contract issues with Ben Simmons on Brooklyn. So there's so many falling lines on every trade. And for a guy like KD, you're getting him for the next 4 years. It's not like he's a free agent after next year. So they're going to have to be willing to give up a lot. Any team has to give up a lot. I'm saying something like a Rudy Gobert, probably even more, because going back to the my next point, Rudy Gobert for the Minnesota Timberwolves, he just got traded from Utah Jazz to Minnesota. 5 first-round picks and 5 players for Rudy Gobert. So if that's the case, I can't imagine what Kevin Durant is getting and Brooklyn's getting for KD.
So the complexity of the NBA, the complexion of the NBA, just like all sports revolving around money and contract, has changed already in this free agency period.
Yeah, for sure. No, the money's getting thrown every day. And ever since the KD rumors, mostly everything's been put to a stop because these teams, these general managers, if you're not calling Brooklyn about KD, Kyrie, possible trade, those general managers aren't doing their job. Both of those guys are top 10 players when healthy.
And these Bayou City boys say they love the turmoil in Brooklyn. Rockets own their picks until 2027. That's a good point.
Yeah,
very good point there.
It's a great point, and Brooklyn trading for Harden is what did it, because you had Kyrie, you had KD, and you could have built around them, but they traded the future all to Houston, not just the picks.
Yeah.
Jared Allen, he ended up in the trade. He went to Cleveland. Karis LeVert, Torian Prince was in another trade, and Spencer Dinwiddie was in another trade. So you think about Brooklyn,
you know what?
Years ago, totally different team.
They talk about the Knicks being dysfunctional in New York. The Brooklyn Nets are just as worse. Those big three together never really played as a unit together. They've got them nowhere with all that money. And now all three of them, at least one of them gone, two of them, all three could be gone. And you know what? If you're a Brooklyn Nets fan, I don't see why you should complain about it, except you lost a lot to get those three. And now that team's starting all over again, and I kind of wonder where they're headed in Brooklyn with the Nets. And what about this guy Donovan Mitchell with the trade rumors about him?
Yeah, there's been a bunch of trade rumors looming about Donovan Mitchell. He's 25, obviously for the Utah Jazz, but he's been in the rumors all offseason because they're in a rebuild. They're entering that rebuild. They hired a new head coach a few weeks ago, and they traded Gobert, the second best player on the franchise. And now Donovan Mitchell, obviously the first player in the franchise, 26 points last year a game, 4.2 rebounds a game, 5.3 assists per game. And this kid's only 25, so he's just going to get better and better. So if you're a young team trying to get out there, trying to make a stand in the Eastern or Western Conference, you go in on Mitchell, I think.
All right, so a lot going on in the NBA right now with free agency and trades and rumors in their off season. And you know what? In a couple of weeks, NFL training camps open up, and we'll be getting into that. In about 3 weeks, camps open up. Believe it or not, another NFL season is on the horizon, and the betting odds are out already about who will win this, who will win that. We're going to start getting into all that. It's going to get interesting as we reach now, the summer point of a sports calendar, the NBA rumors and the NFL training schedule. It's still all baseball, though, right now. And it's all this right now. Here we go. Once a week, it's Nobody Beats the Wiz. And what it is now is There he goes. I want to get a little music. We haven't been able to come up with the tune for this. We're trying to figure out. Yeah, that's the lion. That's the Wiz right there. Yes or no? I ask the Wiz a question, and he gives me the response, and it's real quick. Here we go. All right, Wiz. Major League All Star Game is in 2 weeks from tonight. Again, we should be going remote with the program then from a location. And we'll have our people out there from Latino Sports giving us live reports. But, the balloting is coming to a conclusion. Fans have been voting, the managers, the players, fill-ins, and commissioners, whatever gets involved. But you know what? I've always questioned fan balloting with the All-Star Game. And my thing to you, yes or no? Is fan balloting for the MLB All Star Game fair or not?
Yeah, I think it's fair overall because they most of the time they get it right. Obviously, this year we had one random one in Fernando Tatis. He hasn't played all year, but he's getting the votes. It shows you how much of an impact player he is and how much fans love Tatis. We can go down the list. If one guy's out for the season, he's still going to get those votes. That's just the way it is in sports, and not just MLB.
So you're all for it. You're still yes for fans voting in
Yeah,
All-Stars in the
I'm
Major
full
League
go.
Baseball.
Fans have to be a part of
I
it.
kind of agree with that. Fans pay the price to go to the ballpark to see these players. Why not vote for the player to start in the All-Star Game and let the others do the fill-ins? Right? Thank you for that one. And nobody beats the Riz. Here we go. Wiz, Joey Gallo has become one of the worst players in Major League Baseball at the plate. We're not going to fault his defensive abilities when he's out there on the field for the New York Yankees. But when it comes to his batting, strikeout, strikeout, strikeout. Come in October, if he's on this Yankees roster, he's not going to get a start. Should the Yankees think about trading him before the August 2nd deadline?
Yes, definitely. But the thing with Gallo is his value has dropped so much. So for the Yankees to do it, they're going to have to add in somebody else in the farm system. It might be another player. Gallo can't just go on to another team in a trade. No one's going to take that.
I say let him go, find his own way. You can't make it batting 150 in the major leagues as he is. Hell, I know Little Leagues that better batting average than that. Nobody beats the Wiz, yes or no? Next year, the shift in Major League Baseball is gone. We talked about some of the rules with Dale Scott, former Major League umpire, earlier on this evening on the program. And the game clock will become a part of Major League Baseball to try and hasten and speed up the game. Yes or no, Wiz? Do you like the shift being gone and the game clock coming to MLB?
I like the shift being gone, yes, but I do not like the clock coming into MLB. I just think it's bad for the sport because I put it in my article about Save the Game. Kevin Gallahan, he was talking in his book and in the initiative Save the Game, it's not about the time and how long these games take. It's similar to NFL. They take 4 hours. It's a matter of how much action is in that 4 hours. And right now, baseball, they're lacking action. It's just strikeouts.
Nobody beats the Wiz. Here you go. Yes or no from the Wiz, Robert Rizzo. We talked UFC a moment ago and boxing. Does the UFC surpass boxing in TV and numbers? Has it done it already? Does it in the future? Yes or no?
I think it will do it in the future. I don't think it has yet overall, but it takes one big fight for them to get the streams up, and they'll make the money for sure. Rich must be having some technical issues. He'll probably be back in just a moment. But for now, we can keep talking NBA, MLB, anything. I'll check my phone, see what any updates we got with baseball.
I'm back.
There we go.
What happened to me? Did you knock me off because nobody beats the Wiz? Yes or no? Where was I? I don't know what's going on with the connection.
You knocked me off, and then I knocked you off.
All right, so now we're even. No, yes or no? We had the U.S. And you improvised a little bit. You're learning, my friend, my young puppy friend there. Yes or no? Nobody beats the Wiz. Let's speed it up now. NASCAR and horse racing, I always said, are not considered a sport. We're just coming off the major part of Thoroughbred horse racing season, Triple Crown. NASCAR continues to go on, Daytona, Indy, whatever. I always said these two were not sports. Yes or no?
No, I don't tune into them because I haven't thought of them as a sport. There's only how many are there a year? 3 overall with the horses, the big races.
Right. And the horse, if you don't have the horse, you don't have it. If you don't
Yeah.
have the car, you don't have it.
I was
I
gonna
think
say.
it's called technical stuff.
I've been
It's not a sport.
in the last few years-
Competition.
yeah, I was gonna say in the last few years I've been watching more F1 than NASCAR. F1's competitive. It has a lot of action.
And a
going.
lot of young people your age, demographics show that is a very high number on their TV, on their ratings and their telecast. So, all right, I agree. They're not a sport. Finally, nobody beats the Wiz as we move on. Joey Chestnut, we saw what happened, and we're going to talk about him later in the final segment briefly. Hot dogs, 4th of July, just passed. What did I say here about hot dogs? What did he? Can you eat 10 hot dogs in 5 minutes?
Hell
Yes
no.
or no?
Hell no. I won't even finish 5. I'm too plain and simple as it is. I get full after a half a burger.
So that's a no. Nobody beats the Wiz cannot eat 10 hot dogs in 5 minutes.
That's a hell no.
Did that mean that you're going to join Joey Chestnut and challenge him for his title next July 4th in Coney Island on the boardwalk?
No, but it would be great to be in attendance for that, but I will not be competing. No shot. There's guys
And with that,
go ahead.
okay, with that, we wrap up this week's segment of Nobody Beats the Wiz. All right. Sports with Rich coming right back to wrap it all up. We have some final notes, and yeah, we'll talk a little bit about Joey Chestnut, answer the fact of the week, talk about next week's program. That's coming up. I think John will give us one more brief sports update briefly, then we'll come right back on the other side. I'm Rich Mancuso. That's with Robert Rizzo on the SLJ Network. This is Sports with Rich. Back with you in a moment.
Take 2. Yeah, guys, as you may know, John, producer of the Sports with Rich show. Quick sports update. Both New York teams lost tonight. The Mets lost to the Cincinnati Reds by a score of 1-0 on a sacrifice fly in the bottom of the 9th. And the New York Yankees lost today 5-2 to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Again, that is kind of a shocker because I feel like every week since we've been doing the show, it seems like the Yankees are always winning. You can catch me live every Tuesday and Saturday night on this network, host of the Around the Ropes podcast. That's the Around the Ropes podcast. And obviously you see me here every Tuesday producing these two. But we'll be right back after this quick break.
Spending money like it's nothing. I don't have a budget. Please don't get offended when you see the kids stunting. Got my queens with me, but it ain't no Scarborough bluffing. See, I'm riding solo while dependent bitches cuffing. I got all I need, me, myself, and I just love it. I've been gone, riches stacking to the ceiling. I'm dick long. Can never change the side I've been on. In 100 years, I'ma still be with my day ones. When it's said and done, fuck where I'm going, it's all about where I came from. You don't know.
Back at Sports with Rich, the final segment. I'm Rich Mancuso. That's the Wiz, Robert Rizzo. You know, Riz, I want some of that popcorn. I don't know when John is delivering it to us. And every time I watch those spots on the show and on this network, I want that popcorn more and more. I'm waiting for it. And we want to thank our sponsors, and we want to thank all of you hanging in there with us each and every week here on the SLG Network Sports with Rich. Like, comment, and subscribe. SLG Network Sports with Rich, and also on my YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso. We're on all social media platforms. I'm at Ring786 on Twitter, Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso, Instagram, Mancuso786. Where are you reached, Riz? Where did it get you again?
Follow me on Twitter, RobertRiz994, Instagram, RRizzo4, Facebook, Robert Rizzo, and as always, Latino Sports. You'll see my articles.
As well as mine and on NewYorkSportsDay.com and other places. All right, some MLS action. I was able to see NYCFC once again at Yankee Stadium this past Sunday. You know, that guy was enjoying his holiday. I get a few days off here and there, and he decides to have a barbecue and doesn't invite me. What the hell? I watched NYCFC. I enjoyed going there, watching this team. A 2-2 draw against Atlanta. Keeper Sean Johnson giving up goals, but this guy, Valentin Castellanos, if we have his image, there it is, scoring right now. He's in the running again for that Golden Boot Award as a top scorer in the MLS. He told me after the game on Sunday he doesn't care about that. He's more concerned about the team winning, yet he's in the running for that title again. More importantly, NYCFC needs his golden foot, as I wrote on NewYorkSportsDay.com on Sunday, because he scored 2 of those goals. And the catalyst of the team is Valentin Castellanos. And their rival team, New England Revolution, Sunday, 1 p.m., Yankee Stadium again as they continue their current homestand. Wiz, I mean, to watch him, he is a pleasure to watch in the pitch, as they say.
As you said it best, he's the catalyst, and you put it in the article. For everyone that's watching, listening, watch and read Rich's content, because for NYCFC, your work is amazing. No one compares to that. And you explained how important Castellanos is to this team, because that's the definition right there. He's the catalyst. Last year, he had 22 goals on the season. This year, he has 10. So my question to you, Rich, is will he get more than 22 this season?
No,
he
won't. And he's not concerned about that. He just wants to get the important goals that'll get this team wins. Because right now they're in a fight. Off the international break, they fell in a little slump again. They weren't scoring. Castellanos is picking it up if he doesn't get yellow card or red carded out of the game. But, they've got New England on their trail. They got Philadelphia and the rival Red Bulls, and that's coming up, games with them. Schedule gets tougher, but he's more concerned about getting the goal and not concerned about how many, the ones that count, or if they don't get it to him, to someone else on that team. More concerning, international offers, and that's a problem with the MLS. We've discussed this, and next week we hope to have an MLS player from NYFC on the program, talk about this more in detail. Those guys can get an international offer and be wooed away during the season, and there's no contesting it. No, you can't do it. And Castellanos' name is coming up more and more. And if they lose him because of that, that's not going to be very good for them.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge blow to them. And I just hate that part of soccer and like MLS with the European leagues, how they transfer and cross.
Yeah.
Because we saw 2 weeks ago with the coach, right? Just 2 weeks ago, he left for another team, I believe.
Nick Cushing is now the interim coach, right? And the transition has gone pretty well according to the players, but you do see a little difference. It's in the system, but you do see a little difference.
I was going to say, imagine all my NBA, MLB, NFL fans out there, your coach leaving after the 4th week after you guys are 4-0. Like that would be rough for any fan base.
Well, we'll see what that happens, and NYCFC continues their very, very hectic schedule now at Yankee Stadium Sunday, 1 p.m. New England Revolution, a part of the Eastern Conference fight for first place as they try and defend NYCFC their MLS Cup. Now, we talked about this briefly a little while ago. We saw it July 4th. We are now on July 6th already because we're going past midnight again on the program. Disgusting. I don't know why people get into this so much. I tease you about hot dog eating and all that. What is it with this Joey Chestnut? Even there with injured and all, he still managed to get the record again and ate a record number of hot dogs. How do these guys not get away with choking? I mean, I'm talking 2.5 hours and I'm trying to choke.
It's funny you bring that up because it's totally disgusting. You're watching it on television. They're dumping the hot dog with the bun in water. And then an hour later, you're out with your friends, your family members having a hot dog. Not for me. No, I can't do that.
And on top of it, he was attacked on the stage. Some protesters went after him, and what did he do? He pile drive the guy off the podium.
He choked him and just like threw him. And that was with 15 hot dogs in. He finished with like 53.
God, my
How do you-
goodness.
on one leg.
Regardless, I just don't see why this has become such a big spectacle. Don't people have more important things to do on July 4th than looking at a guy eat a record number of hot dogs every year? And ESPN televises this worldwide.
I was gonna say, out of all the comparisons we did tonight, the hot dog eating contest was on the 4th of July. The Yankees were off on 4th of July.
And that too. We to talk about that on our Major League Baseball segment on the program earlier. How the Major League Baseball lets the Yankees not play on July 4th. If the late George Steinbrenner was alive, that would never happen. That was his birthday as well. How could you not have the Yankees playing on July 4th? Every team in Major League Baseball should be playing on that holiday.
Yeah, for sure.
And you had no baseball in New York on July 4th, which made it even worse. It's crazy. So the SLG network, I don't know where it's coming from in the network. I bet it's John. Or I don't know if it's Cal or John saying that Americans love the hot dog eating. We know that. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it's nasty.
I'm not a fan at all.
Whatever. Moving on, we're going to talk about this again about the Latino Sports Bus Trip, an organization we write for on latinosports.com. And it's a great deal. Read that again, Wiz, about the Hall of Fame Day, Latino Sports.
Yeah, Sunday, July 24th. To join us on going to Cooperstown to see David Ortiz, Gil Hodges, and a bunch more get inducted to the Hall of Fame. Right now, adults are paying $95 for round trip coach bus, tickets to the Hall of Fame, refreshments and snacks. You're not going to beat that anywhere else. You go to Cooperstown that weekend, you're spending at least $200. For us at Latino Sports, $95, you can't beat that.
No, and you get a pass to the Hall of Fame. You get to the museum. You get a nice bus ride, meal on the bus, meet great people, including Latino Sports founder Julio Porbon, and you get to see the ceremony. And I haven't been up there in a long time, so I'm looking forward to it. And those who are asking, you guys ride for free. No, we're paying for it.
Yeah.
Because even though we write for Latino Sports and we're a part of their staff, we're supporting them, and this is a part of supporting them. We are paying the fee. We get no break. I'm not faulting Julio Porbon for that. We want to be there, and it's going to be our pleasure. Just hope the weather is good and it's not hot and humid, because it could be there up there in Cooperstown this time of year. It's always like that. So we'll be plugging that again next week. I wanted to show something ridiculous, but because of copyright restrictions, we can't do it. But there was go on my Facebook page, because I was able to post it. Somebody out there who I know decided to play with one of these apps, a Rich Mancuso rapping in the press box at Citi Field. It is hilarious. It is funny. I don't know if we could show an image of it, but we can't show the video because of copyright restrictions. It was just me and then Scott Engel, another colleague of ours we've had on the show, and Lloyd Carroll, another colleague we've had on the show. I forgot
Jason,
who, and Jason Schott, who was on with us last week. And they're all rapping, and I'm in it too. And it's hilarious. I mean, I don't laugh at many things. This one I laughed at. Everyone knows me and you as Mr. Negative here, Rich Mancuso. I wanted to show this so bad. So go on my Facebook page and you'll see it. And you'll see Rich Mancuso rapping in the Citi Field press box. It's hilarious.
I got a kick out of it.
Yeah, I showed it to a lot of people. Saw it, and they said that I had a new career going.
I was gonna say, I asked you at first, was it real? It looked like it was real.
No, who did it? And I'm gonna let it out. It was Joe McDonald, a former publisher and founder of NewYorkSportsDay.com. And Joe one time gets some free time, and he likes to do that. And Joe definitely did not put me to sleep on that one. So I wish we could show that. Go to my Facebook page. You'll see it. It's really funny. All right, Wiz. Next week, maybe an NYCFC superstar here from the MLS on the program. Some more baseball talk. NFL camps are coming. We'll have more idea about who's going to be on the Major League Baseball All-Star teams in 2 weeks from tonight, or was last night, because we're at midnight New York area now on the East Coast. We might be able to do the remote show. And we'll let the fans know if they're in the area in New York where we're going to do it on the SLG network. We'll do it, and I look forward to that. Fact of the week answer. Anybody got it?
You should say it one more time for them.
The Aaron Judge bobblehead will never go away, I guess, because nobody's going to get my fact of the week. Wimbledon is taking center stage in tennis right now in London on the grass. And my question, my fact of the week this week centered on that, on tennis. The longest tennis match on record was at Wimbledon in 2010. John Isner won versus Nicholas Mahut. And I want to know, the fact of the week is how long of a tennis match that was at Wimbledon in 2010. How long of a tennis match? And it's the longest tennis match on record. And this fact, even that I got, really threw me off.
Sheesh. I'm going to...
John, do you have an answer in the background at SLG Network? Let us know. And you, Wiz, do you have an answer? Does anybody have an answer?
It's a wild guess, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to say 5:20. 5 hours and 20 minutes.
Oh, well, you're totally off. John, do you have an answer?
All right.
Are you there, John? He says 10 hours, 23 minutes. Well, no, that doesn't add. It doesn't add up to the answer, but you're not far off. I don't know where you got it from. The answer is the fact of the week. Longest tennis match on record that took place on Wimbledon in 2010. Get this, 3 days and 11 hours.
What?
Yeah, how could you play tennis match in 3 hours, 3 days and 11 hours?
I was going to say, you could do so much in 3
A
days.
span of 3 days and 11 hours. And frankly, I don't remember that. I checked into this fact with a tennis expert who told me that is fact. So I used it as a fact of the week, and I didn't think anybody would get it.
I wonder how they did it. That must have been insane.
Well, they took breaks, obviously.
Yeah.
They didn't go 3 straight days. They took 3 days to do it in a span of 11. 3 days. A span of 3 days, which totaled 11 hours. That's how they did it.
All right. Yeah.
Not 3. Yeah, 3 days, a span of 11, whatever. That was the fact of the week. I'll have another one next week.
That was a good guess by John.
It was. He was close. But even if he got it, he wouldn't have got the Aaron Judge bobblehead. Neither would you. But I want you out there to get that bobblehead. So another fact of the week next week. Wiz, any final thoughts before we say goodnight after a long night of sports with Rich?
First off, I want to thank John and Calvin for doing all the behind-the-scenes work. I want to thank Dale Scott and pro fighter Saleh Ali. We'll see him tomorrow. I'm very excited for the week. I'm excited for the week ahead. We got Mets Marlins on Friday. We'll be there covering it, so look out for our recent articles. They'll be published every other day, honestly.
Yeah, Keith Hernandez number retired in New York City Field. I got MLS soccer. The Yankees come back before the All-Star break. The Mets had a tough one tonight, 1-0 to the Reds. The Braves won again, right? So that lead is what now? 2.5?
Just like that.
I keep saying that the Mets won't have first place when they go into Atlanta next week or the week after before the All-Star break. That's going to be a crucial series. The Mets, I think, are going to lose first place. Uncle Steve Cohen's got to make some moves. The Yankees showing a little tailspin. The Astros keep winning, right? It's an interesting baseball season regardless any way you look at it. NBA free agency continuing. The NFL training camps open up. Boxing on a little major hiatus. More Keep It in the Ring next week. We got it all each and every week here live on the SLG Network. Sports with Rich. I'm Rich Mancuso. That's the Wiz, Robert Rizzo. I'm at Ring786 on Twitter, Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso. Mancuso786 on Instagram. latinosports.com, newyorksportsday.com. I can go on and on and on and on. And you, Wiz, once again, where did they get you?
Everyone follow me on Twitter, RobertRiz994, Instagram, RRizzo4, Facebook, Robert Rizzo, and catch all my articles and content on Latino Sports and New York Sports Day.
I want to thank you, John, at the SLG Network. Don't forget, everyone, like, comment, and subscribe here at SLG Network. Also, follow, comment, and subscribe on my channel on YouTube, Rich Mancuso. And until next week, live at 10 p.m. Eastern, I'm Rich Mancuso. That's the Wiz, Robert Rizzo. And as always,
keep it in the ring.
Keep it in the ring. Till next week, everyone. Stay safe and be well. Till then.